weather we've gotten in Colorado. Look, man, I'm not going to yick your yap or whatever people say. I don't know what the PG way of saying it is. You want to go light up fireworks. I know they're illegal. That's your thing. I'm not going to get in your way. Just don't be doing it like right over my house.
Yeah.
Like, please don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what you're talking about is a minor fire. Every time I hear about this, and Spolstra went through this with the heat a couple years ago, anytime I hear about people's houses, like, being, even partially burned down, I'm like, I couldn't even imagine.
No.
Like, I had an apartment flood last year, and it was the worst thing that's ever happened. I literally could not imagine. So.
Oh, and that was your neighbor up top, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that story.
So, man, don't be that guy. Just, if you're going to light off fireworks this summer, please do somewhere where, like, there is no chance that it catches anything else. Like, do it in a big parking lot where everything is
over a
asphalt.
lake.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, do it where it's not going to bother anyone and it can't catch on fire, most importantly.
I am not firework guy. I think it's one of the most overrated and stupidest things we do as human beings. But, like you said, I understand if you're going to do it. I'm also not, like, call the cops on you firework guy. That might change after the experience I had last night.
I've become that person maybe because let me tell you, when you have a niece or a nephew staying at your house who's under 8 years old and there's a bombardment,
oh yeah,
you start feeling pretty bad. And I know you got one of those in your life, but like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
One of the texters say it could be $8,000 for a new AC unit. I don't know. I mean,
I think that's a Google AI.
Like, do we have to do a whole brand new unit? I don't know. And hopefully, a shout out to my boy Dave. He saves me from everything. He gets stuff at cost, and maybe that's going to help out a little bit as well. But yeah, give it to me straight, HVAC guys. What am I looking at out here? Tough break last night.
I just imagine if I was an HVAC guy, I'd have the little old school Walkman with the antenna, and I'd be listening to us in my headphones, because that's like what I do. I actually listen to sports talk radio throughout the day. Yeah. I'd have my little Walkman on, and every time I'd have to go into a crawl space and I'd lose signal, I'd be like, I'm so upset right now.
Pissed at this homeowner.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Your fault.
It's like, we can't get any service down here, man.
So let us know. And here we got one of these firework enthusiasts. Don't be that whiny bleep hole that cries about fireworks. We've been doing it for 300 years. Shut up.
Actually, longer if you consider China.
And so you just, everything that has a tradition is right, huh? Yeah, that's a slippery slope, bro. Ham. I might get away from that take if I were you.
A lot of things in America 200 years ago had traditions that we kind of went against.
I'm not going to hold my hat on American traditions. Call me crazy, right?
There's some that are pretty good. Last night during the World Cup game, England was struggling, and I don't know if you saw all this, but they were playing an African nation, and there was like a witch doctor that put a curse on Harry Kane, who had a hat trick in his first game.
I saw this. Yeah.
Incredible. And Harry Kane missed like two layups of goals. They end up drawing 0-0. And during the game, one of the commentators goes, "The British historically have struggled in Massachusetts." And I'm like, that's great.
Those are the traditions we're cool with.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great line. Great line. All right. Seeing some of the help on the text line. Appreciate y'all again. Hit us up. Tribe roll call. All that stuff. But if you can, help me out. I would certainly appreciate it. All right, Jake, a quick Broncos conversation. There are a few questions that we're going to kind of go throughout the rest of the week and then today with you. But yesterday, or on Monday, we talked about the offensive questions. I'll ask you this, and then we'll do defense later. Are the only offensive questions like J.K. Dobbins' health? Can Davis unlock a tight end, I think, is a fair question as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think the big tight end question of Evan Ingram, what he looks like, if there's someone else on the roster, whether it's the dark horse surprise, Caleb Lohner, or we're stuck with another year of Adam Troutman.
I'm a big fan of Justin Jolie. I'm not sure if it translates right away.
I just feel like every time I go to like a Chinese restaurant and get a fortune cookie, it says, and I've got a couple in the back that are like cool. It's just like, truth is unpopular subject because it's unquestionably correct. If you go into the Chinese restaurant that is the Denver Broncos cafeteria and you get your fortune back, and it's just like, you will have another year of Adam Troutman.
Yes.
And it's nothing against Adam Troutman. He's just not a number one tight end.
No, he's not.
So that's the problem. So that's probably the main question outside of J.K. Dobbins' health, who, in my opinion, is one of the 10 best running backs in football when he's healthy. I brought this up yesterday. I've got some questions about the offensive line, especially about the run blocking scheme. I think there are questions to be had about what Jalen Waddle looks like in this offense. He looked very good in the Mike McDaniel offense. There were times he didn't. Is there a way Sean Payton, puts him in a spot that he's even better? Does Sean Payton struggle to utilize him at all? Those are questions I have. I mean, Marvin Mims is a guy who goes, we need to get him the ball more. Well, whose job is it to get him the ball more? That's your job. Mm-hmm. And yet they have not found a way to get him the ball more. So are we going to be sitting here talking about that with Jalen Waddle 5 weeks into the season? Or are we talking about how Jalen Waddle's completely unlocked this Broncos offense and they're the team who puts up 70 points?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what's Waddle's role look like going from 2 to 1? How quickly does he settle in and be comfortable in that spot? I think he is. I think he's one.
You don't think Sutton's one?
There was always the back and forth of if Sutton's a true one. And then, I mean, Waddle averages 1,100 yards a year. Sutton's gotten 1,100 yards once in his NFL career.
Okay. That's probably right. I don't know. There's such
Why wouldn't you think he's a one? Size?
He wasn't a number one in Miami.
Well, because of Tyreek, though.
Yeah, that's part of it. He was his first year, but that was kind of a different circumstance.
Sure.
They were a different team. Size is part of it. His route running is pretty good. There isn't like a defining thing to me about Jalen Waddle besides his speed, but he's not really like an over-the-top guy. Mm-hmm. So I am curious as to like where his bread is going to be buttered with the Denver Broncos offense. That's kind of one of my questions. And for that, I do wonder because I know what Courtland Sutton is. He's going to make all the tough catches. He is going to go over the top at times. He's going to win me balls. While Courtland Sutton maybe is not elite at all the traditional number one things, he does all the number one things, whereas Jalen Waddle kind of doesn't. He does a lot of those things that your secondary guy does.
Yeah. I mean, I think his cutting ability will be elite. Bo said like he cuts at high speed, doesn't have to change his speed. I think that's elite. I just think what he can do is a little bit more than that of Courtland Sutton. Talk about like running after the catch, those sort of things. Courtland's like a possession reception guy. I think so.
Okay, here's a stat that's really going to scare you. So Travis Kelce, who is 36 years old and plays tight end and is famously a tight end who is slow because he's a tight end, had more yards after the catch last year than Jalen Waddle.
Wow.
And he had more yards after the catch than Courtland Sutton.
All right, well, Travis is a little bit, that does surprise me, but he is a different version of the tight end, but that's honestly a little discouraging to find that information out.
Yeah, that's the number one stat.
But look at who's throwing the ball to Jalen a year ago, too. A bunch of nonsense there in Miami.
Okay, but that's yards after the catch. It doesn't matter who's throwing you the ball at that point with yards after the catch. So that's the thing that scared me is once that stat was presented to me, whereas Travis Kelce had 422 yards after the catch last year, and I think Jalen Waddle was like right under it. I'm pulling it up right now because I wasn't prepared to just bring this off on the top road at 10 a.m. But yeah, Josh, 228. He had half as many yards after the catch as Travis Kelce. He wasn't even close. That's a little concerning to me. And
that number doesn't feel good.
That, to me, was the only reason why I was hesitant about the Jalen Waddle trade to begin with. I'm not saying it was a bad trade, but that's why I'm a little hesitant.
We'll revisit that, get into the defensive questions a little later on in the show. We didn't get to do this yesterday, and now we know what we're kind of seeing from the Denver Nuggets in the draft. The NHL drafts this weekend as well. The Avs don't have a first or second round pick, and it's a different version, so we kind of know what that roster looks like. Let's talk about come fall, when we're getting to October, who we're feeling better about with the Nuggets and the Avs. That's coming up next.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 13 years of age and older that are residents of the state of Colorado. Unless otherwise specified, employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or an entity associated with the contest may not enter. Full general contest rules are available at DenverSports.com.
Right now, it's Siltahar certified pre-owned vehicles starting at $10,980, backed by a 90-day warranty and a 5-day exchange. Too big? Swap it. Too red? Swap it. Any reason. Get top value for your trade-in instantly at sthmotors.com, then put that money towards hundreds of vehicles on the lot. New car buyer. Ford and Lincoln employee pricing. You pay what they pay. 66 years, family-owned, no games, just deals. sthmotors.com, Highway 36 in Wadsworth. Siltahar Motors. Get everything you want out of a dealership.
When you've been hurt after a traumatic car crash, you don't need a sales pitch from an attorney with big promises and a loud voice. You need a team who fights for real results fast. That's why so many across the country choose the Berg Simpson Law Firm. Berg Simpson is nationally recognized, but is local right here in Colorado. So give us a call and let our team fight for the results you deserve today.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 303-790-2525. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives.
Any jewelry store can sell you a diamond.
But there's only one family jeweler in Colorado that was literally built on them.
In fact, we've sold more diamonds to more couples for more years than any other jeweler in Denver. I'm Steve Williams.
I'm Dylan.
And I'm Shayna Williams. That's why we built Williams Jewelers of Inglewood, an entire store totally dedicated to celebrating your love.
All the world's top bridal designers, 10 times the certified loose diamonds.
And Denver's true diamond experts, like me, who will share their knowledge and passion and how to get the most diamond for your money, guaranteed.
So whether you're looking for the perfect diamond engagement ring,
or that second diamond celebrating a love of many years,
we have the perfect diamond for you.
that's why every day more couples say will you with Williams.
Where Colorado shines.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And right now, new mattresses start at $1,500 during our 4th of July sale. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
This Father's Day, do more with Dad and spend less with low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. Get him fired up with a new grill and accessories, like the Next Grill 5-burner for just $299, so you can spend more time together while he becomes the grill master he was always meant to be. Or build memories with savings on top brand power tools so you can tackle projects side by side. Gift more and do more together this Father's Day with help from the Home Depot. Exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like customer service associate at a dry cleaning shop.
Yeah, hi. I'm here to pick up my suit.
Ah, yes. Here you go.
There must be a mistake. This is too small.
It shrunk a whole lot. Look on the bright side. Now you have a suit you can give to a child.
This is the job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Listen up, Denver. This hour's keyword is hold, H-O-L-D. Text hold to 303-713-1043 right now for your chance to win a $250 gas card. That's hold to 303-713-1043.
By texting, you agree to receive an automated marketing message from DenverSports 1043 The Fan. Message and data rates may apply. For complete rules or to enter the keyword online, visit www.denversports.com/keyword.
You're listening to Dover and Cecil on Denver Sports 1043 The Fan.
All right, we're off and rolling here. Jake Shapiro sitting in for Cecil Lammy. Cecil's going to be back tomorrow, enjoying a couple of down days, couple of days off. The Denver Nuggets and the NBA held their draft last night. The Nuggets were on the clock at number 26, did not make a selection. Made a trade instead with the San Antonio Spurs to get their 35th pick in the second round. Still own the 49th, which they had already. So what will they do? And then what will their roster look like? With the Nuggets, it's still up in the air. And you and I both said to start the show, Jake, we're going to give them, I don't know about benefit of the doubt, but the runway to figure out what they're doing with these picks that they're acquiring and how they're going to build this roster to be competitive or even fill it out and staying where they want to stay financially. So we kind of know we have to wait for the Nuggets. But we know what the core is if it remains intact. With the Colorado Avalanche, who have the NHL draft coming up this weekend, they don't even have a first or a second round pick. They do have a handful of picks, a couple handfuls to be honest, but all of them coming in the third round or later. In the NHL, we know how it works. The third round or later, you're probably not getting an impact player in year 1 or 2. We'll see what that can develop and turn into. But Jake, with what you know and still kind of the unknown of what trades can happen when seasons start on June 30th or July 1st, who do you feel more confident in to give us a better team next year in the fall? Where you go, yes, they do actually have a chance to compete and win a championship.
The team that was the best team in hockey that won 2 straight playoff series with ease.
Until they choked it away.
Yeah, but they also won 8 playoff games, and the Denver Nuggets won 2.
Mm-hmm.
And the Denver Nuggets won 53 games, and the Avs led the NHL, or 54 games. The Avs led the NHL in points. Like it wasn't a close regular season in terms of who was the better team. I have a lot more faith, and the Avs are also a little bit younger than the Nuggets. I know both teams are aging, but the Avs are a little bit younger than the Nuggets. So I think the Avs, just on paper, have a lot more reason to believe that they'll be just as good next year, if not better, in the playoffs, whereas the Nuggets, in my opinion, you look at what's happening around the NBA, you look at what's happening internally with the Nuggets, where they're likely to lose 1 starter and possibly 3 rotation players. And the rest of the West is, I'm never this guy. I'm never this guy. Everyone on the West is getting better. The Nuggets aren't. I hate that take. But truly, this year, almost everyone is getting better because last year everyone tanked.
Mm-hmm.
And this year, guys, teams aren't going to be tanking because the rules changed. So it will be a little bit different. I look at the Avs and think they're much better positioned next year than the Nuggets, and that's not even really looking yet into the deep part, which is the trades and the moves, which are all going to go against the Nuggets. And in the Avs case, last night, several moves were made in the NHL that indicate it is right now a seller's market, which is good for the Avs because they might be selling Val Nichushkin.
Mm-hmm. Your boy Bowen. We just talked about Byram last night or yesterday, and then he got traded last night.
And you know who my actual hockey team is.
Right to your guys, I know.
I'm very excited.
You should be. He's a good player.
Yeah, most of hockey Twitter thought it was a horrible trade because the number 4 overall pick in the draft plus Louis Crevier, who's a good young player and a second-round pick. I like Greenway, who came back to the Blackhawks in that trade. But this also goes back to the Avs point. They traded Bowen Byram for Casey Middlestad, who was a failed second-line center. 2 years later, he gets dealt for the 4th overall pick in the draft. That is a failure of asset management by the Colorado Avalanche. And at the time, we knew they were selling low on Bo Byram. They kind of forced their own hands on that because they felt they needed a second-line center so bad
they
gave up on. Yes, and they gave up on, what did I scream for yesterday? A left-handed shot defenseman.
Mm-hmm.
And Bo Byram is that guy, steady puck mover, who can play some defense. So Bo Byram, maybe not right now a top pairing guy, but at 25 still has all the potential in the world to become that top pairing guy.
Well, they chase center depth forever, and now they have it now, but you talk about how old guys are. They have it with a guy in his mid-30s. Like, you talk about age with the Nuggets and the Avs. I know Joker and Jamal are getting into their 30s, but, man, if you were to go over the top 6, 7, 8 guys on the Colorado Avalanche, all of them not named Cale Makar are in their 30s. And some of them are flirting with their mid-30s like Gabe, Nas, Brock, guys like that. So I would say, like, the Nuggets core, and I guess I can only call that Jamal and Joker right now, they're younger than the overall core of what the Avs would be, but I just trust the Avs more. They have more reliable players. I know Vegas went south and got sideways, but I trust what the Avs are going to be night in and night out. I don't know what the Nuggets are going to be night in and night out. I don't even know what their players are going to be night in and night out. And I have that with the Avalanche.
We know
for the most part.
We know McKinnon and Makar will be there.
Yeah.
We know Gabe will be there. We know one of Nas and Val will be there.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Natchez will be there. We know that Taze will be there. That's a really good sounding team still, man.
I mean, you just rattled off 6 names.
Yeah. You know who we know will be there for the Denver Nuggets next year?
Nikola Jokic.
And that's it.
Yeah.
And, like, I want to tell you Jamal Murray, I believe Jamal Murray will be there. I would tell you there's a 90% chance Jamal Murray's there. But when the owner tells you everything's on the table except for Nikola Jokic, it's not like they were saying that about the Avs. They were saying, yeah, we're going to try and do this and that. But they weren't going, look, man, everybody but Nate and Kale. That is a statement.
Yeah.
So to me, I feel much better positioned with where the Avs are than where the Nuggets are going into next year, and more largely probably for the next several years, to be honest, even though Nikola Jokic has a bigger singular impact on the Nuggets and his sport than any one player on the Avs can, and that's not to speak ill of Nate or Kale's greatness. That's just how basketball and hockey work.
Well, I can't give you too much pushback, but I could go like, all right, in a couple years when Gabe and Nas are gone, then what does the roster look like?
They still have a Norris-winning trophy defenseman.
True.
Who is going to be probably 27 at the time, whereas the Denver Nuggets will have a 34-year-old center. In the history of 34-year-old centers, Josh, while we might want to hope Nikola Jokic is still an MVP at that point, everything in the historical database says we have reason to believe that it's going to look ugly for Jokic starting as soon as maybe next year, by the way.
Well, the thing I try to hold my hat on is it's not athleticism that he builds his game upon, but if that is the case, not only are we talking about an aging center, it's also an aging center that's going to be good for a pretty nice chunk of your salary cap of what he's going to be making.
$75 million, I think, in his age 35 season if this extension goes through.
In 1 year. 1 year.
Yeah. He'll be making $250 million on that contract extension. He'll be worth more on this contract than the Colorado Rapids franchise, potentially. It'll be really close.
Wow. Teach your kids to pass and dribble, folks. That's the secret.
And be 7 foot tall.
Yeah, be 7 foot tall is another good thing that you can do. All right, we'll get into a quick Rockies conversation. I've got a question for Jake about the Rockies, how you will feel after the month of June if this happens. What's this? That's next.
Does Denver's two MVP superstars need to win at least one more championship each in order to cement their legacies as all-time greats in their sport?
But if you are talking about legacies and you're talking about all-time greatness and you're talking about the idea of your players or your teams being remembered 20, 30, 40 years from now, and you really do care about legacy, then yes, Jokic has to win another championship. McKinnon has to win another Stanley Cup.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
All right, Broncos country, listen up. Philip Lindsay here. And for stress-free summer travel, I chose Hermes Worldwide. Forget the airport chaos. Hermes Worldwide offers comfortable, reliable transportation for your airport transfers and more. They're dependable, they're professional, so you can focus on your vacation. Make your summer travel easy. Give them a call today at 303-577-7600, or you can visit them online at ridehermes.com/DenverSports. Again, that's ridehermes.com/DenverSports to book your next ride today.
In Colorado, relationships matter. That's why contractors across the Front Range choose Western Pacific for doors and millwork. 35 years of quality products, next-day delivery, and fast will call service. Visit GoWestPack.com. Western Pacific, local ownership, professional expertise.
Is your health telling you it's time to lose weight? High blood pressure, rising cholesterol, joint pain, or more medications don't have to be your future. Colorado Fat Loss can help people lose 20 to 40 pounds naturally in about 60 days and keep it off. Schedule a free consultation at coloradofatloss.com. That's coloradofatloss.com.
Dan, I'm not looking to get rich, but I'm not sure what to do. It's something we hear a lot at 303 Law 4040 from people. They've been hurt. They just don't know what to do next. Should they talk to the insurance company? Who's going to pay their medical bills? What if they have to miss work? They don't want to call a lawyer, and they certainly don't want to sue anyone, but they just don't know what to do. Here, take one of our small town clients. He was seriously hurt on his neighbor's property. Tough as nails, salt of the earth guy, and all he was looking to do was the right thing. He said, Dan, I have to live in this town, and I want to be able to hold my head up high when I walk down the street. So if you're talking about suing my neighbor, I'm not interested. I explained that we probably wouldn't have to sue anybody, and we certainly weren't going to hurt his neighbor. In the end, we got him $1.5 million, and he could still hold his head up high in that small town. If you've been hurt, you don't have to feel guilty for calling 303 Law 4040. We are here to help and fight for what's fair. We don't farm you out to a call center. In fact, we give all of our clients our cell phone numbers. We hope you never need us, but save that number in your phone just in case. It's 303 Law 4040. That's 303 Law 4040.
The new 2026 Honda CR-V was made for Colorado, and Champ Honda is the place to get one. Whether you're navigating city streets or heading up to the mountains, the CR-V delivers the comfort and capability you need for all of it. Champ Honda has the largest inventory since before COVID, so you have plenty of great options to choose from. And with their one price, one person, 1 hour philosophy, you know you'll be treated fairly with no games or hidden charges. And remember, they never charge dealer handling fees.
Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org. Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Hey guys, it's Mark Schlereth. I just made one of the best decisions of my life. I got rid of my glasses. I went to Cutarelli Vision and had refractive lens exchange, RLE. I wore glasses for distance vision, but I got to that inevitable point in life where I was always needing those reading glasses just to do about anything, and half the time I couldn't find them. Seeing menus, texting, reading my computer, or studying film, it was a struggle. But now I see the world perfectly, near and far, without any glasses, thanks to Cutarelli Vision RLE, the perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the cherry on top. You'll never develop a cataract. Dr. Cutarelli is Colorado's most experienced with over 90,000 vision correction procedures. You can trust him to know if it's the right time for you and RLE. Schedule your free Zoom consultation at coloradorle.com. Cutarelli Vision RLE, no readers, glasses, or contacts, or cataracts. coloradorle.com.
Need better rest? Let Mattress Firm's sleep experts match you with the perfect bed at the July 4th sale. They make sleep easy.
Stream Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Dover and Cecil, The Drive, and all your favorite shows on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan app. Powered by Advanced Tax Solutions. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. It's Dover and Cecil on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
All right, we're keeping an eye on the Rockies' record in June in hopes that they can finish near or at, dare I say, above 500. My question for Jake Shapiro, who you and I have gone back and forth, and believe it or not, I'm trying to remain optimistic with the Colorado Rockies. I don't know that it's really optimistic or just like I don't have expectations. And I'm just going to go, oh, the good, that's fun. And oh, the bad, oh, yeah, well, I expect a lot of that. But the good, a walk-off in the bottom of the ninth for a Jake McCarthy triple the other night, that's the fun. And I'm going to take that. They couldn't get it done last night, so they fall to 9-11 in the month of June. Jake Shapiro, if the Rockies are at or above 500 by the end of June, they're going to wrap up the series with Boston today. Then they're going to play the Minnesota Twins in Minnesota, and then Miami to wrap it up at Coors Field. Wrap up the month of June. Does that show you anything? You don't believe in what, well, you know that it's going to take some time with what they're doing. And I know you have questions about some of the things they're doing with their operation down there. But if they're at or above 500 in June, does it give you, Jake Shapiro, any hope or, yes, there is light at the end of this tunnel? Who knows when it's coming, but there's light.
Well, there are a couple different ways to look at this. And I'm going to go back to one thing that I said coming into the season. This season will be a success if Ethan Holiday and Chase Dollander make major strides. Yesterday, it was announced that Chase Dollander is having brace surgery and he's out for the year.
Yep.
And Ethan Holiday has already been announced is out for the year.
Mm-hmm.
So under what I came into the year saying, there is literally no way for this season to be a success. They could go to the playoffs, which they're not going to do, and it is not a success to me. And that's the truth, because those are the two fundamental guys to turning this ship around. Now, Josh, I get what you're saying, because they have not had a winning month since May of 2024.
Wow. They haven't had a winning June since 2021.
Yes. So I get why you would feel, okay, this is a lot better than what we've seen the last couple months, last couple years. But they are coming off months where they went 8-20 and 9-11 so far in June, 1-4 in March. Look, if they're 13-14 in April and right around 500 in June, that's 2 months out of the 4 months of the season so far that they've been about 500. Yeah. I just don't think that this team has enough talent where that's believable anyway. Like, sure, they're playing harder. That's nice. But are they building a culture where they're playing hard is a thing? None of these guys are going to be around when they're any good. Cole Carrig might be the only guy. Tovar might be around. I don't know. Tovar's had such a bad year so far. But Cole Carrig getting that bunt down to me 2 nights ago is one of the most impressive things he's done. And this is a guy who's hit multiple home runs. He looks so good so far in center field. And it's funny because the Rockies just have a bunch of center fielders, and that's, the whole thing they got going with Doyle
we
and
did
Moniak.
this song and dance with Britton Doyle 4 years ago.
Right. And the thing is, with Cole Carrig, I want to say it is right now. Yeah, Cole Carrig is his peripherals, which is a fancy way in baseball of saying his statistics, but like the underlying statistics are very similar to what Warming Barnabel's statistics were his first month in the major leagues. Warming Barnabel is not a major leaguer. There's a reason for that. So I'm not buying completely even into Cole Carrig. So again, I come back to this idea. One, the Colorado Rockies need pitching if they're ever going to be good again. They have literally no pitching in their entire organization outside of Chase Dollander. Sagano looks okay, but Sagano's not going to be around by the time they're any decent. 2, the big thing, they need to develop young star players. Ethan Holiday has all the potential in the world to become that. He's out for the year. Charlie Condon, maybe. Zach Veen, probably not. We are so far away that I don't really care what's happening at the major league level in the month of June. It just does not interest me. It doesn't matter.
But it doesn't give you any, again, just for what I want to do. You go to baseball games.
I go to way too many.
Baseball games. Your family loves going to baseball games. Isn't that just of hey, I'm not here with expectations. I'm here for 2.5 hours, hopefully, to see if this ball club can win today.
I hope it's longer, honestly.
Really?
I hate the pitch clock. I don't want to think about the time. I don't want to think about...
It's the greatest thing that's ever happened to baseball.
No, I go to baseball to escape reality and to escape the world. I don't want to think about clocks. I don't want to think about time. It's the one sport without time and clocks. Why are we doing this?
So yeah, that's what I do with golf. That's what I use for golf.
I want to sit there for 4 hours and just take me back to another time and another world. I don't want to think about it. So I hate... That's a whole other conversation. I disagree with your assessment that you don't have expectation. Josh, I hung out with you when you were single. You have expectations. I know you.
Thanks for saying that.
Don't put yourself beneath yourself there, buddy. And I know the quote that we all like to believe, comparison is the thief of joy.
Sure.
People like to philosophize that. If you really believe that, you're full of BS. We all have expectation. We all compare. And right now, you should have an expectation. And I think this is a pathetic ball club that we should be not giving attention to.
Wow.
And everyone that goes, oh, they're turning the corner. They've got this going, and they've got a new person running the show. It's been 30-plus years, and they've never won the division. All they need to do is be one of the 5 teams. They're one of 5 teams. There's a 20% chance on paper that they can win the division any year. They've never done it. I am not giving any hope or faith into the Colorado Rockies or any real sort of attention to them outside of what is my duty in my job here because they have robbed a great baseball city in Denver, Colorado, who's cared about baseball since the 1880s of real Major League Baseball, to which we footed the bill for that stadium. We wanted baseball. We died for baseball in this city. People wanted baseball so bad. What the Colorado Rockies put on the field, as Dick Monfort said about product and experience, it's a BS product. And the experience, by the way, it's all about drinking and being on your phone.
It's Instagram.
I was at the game on Monday. I was the only one paying attention besides the Red Sox fans.
Yeah, it's for Instagram. And I will say this, you know what, hearing you go the way you're going, and I respect the passion, you're like baseball purist is coming out of it. And I've said it before, if I'm ranking my favorite sports, baseball's nowhere near the top. So it's that with my mindset of I have no expectations for the team. I'm guilty of going to the game for Instagram and just so my lady can get a hot dog and a brew and hang out for a couple of hours. I'm guilty of that, and I'm never going to stop doing it. So I think if the Nuggets if I was in a position where the Nuggets made me feel the way you feel about where the Rockies are, I'd be in the same boat that you are. I just don't. I mean, to be brutally honest, I just don't care about them enough to get as angry as you are.
Right, so you have no expectation.
Yeah,
is what
zero.
You're saying.
I have
that's the
zero
thing.
expectations.
I expect that you are going to try and put a winner on the field, and that's one thing you can't actually blame Dick Monfort is most of the time he actually does try to win. He just can't get out of his own way.
Well, try in his mind, and what trying in his mind and trying in our minds.
Because he thinks he knows more about baseball than the guys he actually hires to run baseball organizations. And that's the thing is, I come up from people, my great-grandfather watched every single Cubs game. My grandfather watches every Cubs game to this day. My other grandfather watches every Chicago White Sox game. Like, I've grown up around this baseball culture, and this is unacceptable. And it's not okay for us to be sitting here going, well, if they only lose 100, that's 20 more wins than last year. Mm-hmm. Really? That's what we're doing here? After the pride of the Rockies for 25 years was, they've never lost 100 games. They've been bad, but they've never been the worst. And now we're sitting here, it's a major success that they've won 17 more games and lost 102. I just don't want to sit here going, June was 500, so that's a sign of they're changing things at 20th and Blake. Mm-hmm. No. You know what they're going to do? They're about to sell half of this team at the deadline if they're smart.
Yes, they should.
And then they're going to tank really bad below 500 to end this season, and they'll probably lose 105-plus games.
Look.
So I'm not going to sit here and go, things are turning around and we've got reason to hope at 20th and Blake. Look, I'm not even the protest guy. I go there. I like going to baseball games, so I go there. I like hanging out in downtown Denver, so I go. I hang out with my friends. I spend money there. I'm not being like, you got to protest the Rockies, but you can be vocally angry and viscerally angry about the product that the Rockies are. Think about how mad you were as a Denver Broncos fan for the last 10 years whenever that crap was going on.
You really care about them.
Because there's an expectation.
Yes.
Why is there not an
standard.
expectation and a standard with the Colorado Rockies?
It's a fair question. Like I said, love your passion. Maybe I'm part of that problem of passion or lack of expectation. I just don't have any. And we begged for wins a year ago. Begged for wins. They're giving them some to us in the month of June, and I don't think beggars can be choosers. So I'm going to take what they're giving to me right now for the very small value, entertainment value that I'll get on some of those nights like Monday when you and I were going back and forth. So
you're 1-1 with the worst team in the American League. Congrats. You get the split game tonight.
Thank you. Where's my blue participation ribbon? Give me one. Come on.
Rubber match today, Coors Field. Can't wait to watch it.
Hey, don't forget our Be a Mentor, Be a Fan Youth Football Camp presented by Walmart's happening on Saturday, and today is actually your last day to sign up at DenverSports.com/camp. So if you're thinking about it, don't wait any longer. If your kids are between 8 and 14 that want to get some hands-on coaching from former players like Stink, Stoke, Phil, and some coaches from Denver South, that's what it's all about, and the proceeds go to Big Brothers Big Sisters of Colorado. So get signed up today, DenverSports.com/camp. It is your last chance. All right, what was Josh Kroenke doing in that video last night? We'll talk about it next.
You asked for it, you got it. Backed by popular demand, it's the Drives Brouhaha.
Big social brouhaha.
This summer, Zach and Phil are back on the road bringing their party to you. Last stop, Arvada. June 26th from 2 to 6 at Arvada Beer Garden.
That was quite a brouhaha.
Come find out what the commotion's all about. Head to DenverSports.com/drive for more details.
Guaranteed to bring the brouhaha.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, getting older. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. And if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more. Getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Siltar Motors is loaded right now with certified pre-owned cars and trucks starting at $10,980. Everyone inspected, 90-day warranty, and a 5-day exchange. If you change your mind, any reason, done. Get the most for your trade-in at STHmotors.com. Takes 2 minutes and puts more money in your pocket. Shopping new? Ford and Lincoln employee pricing. You pay what they pay, thousands off. 66 years, family-owned, hundreds of vehicles. This is the deal you've been waiting for. STHmotors.com, Highway 36 in Wadsworth. Siltar Motors. Get everything you want out of a dealership.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46, and I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Tune in to Mile High Money.
My biggest goal is education. I come from a family of educators, and I want you to know the who, the what, the why, the when, the how.
Helping you achieve your ideal retirement.
The risk that you're taking, does that equal the return that you should be getting? And a lot of times, the answer is no.
Tune in to Mile High Money with Adam Moeller. Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Xfinity. And when it comes to your internet, you want the most intelligent, and that's what they provide. The most intelligent Wi-Fi that can hunt down and fix problems. Reliability, well, you want the most reliable Wi-Fi for streaming, gaming, working from home, and coverage that goes wall to wall in your home. How about security? Wi-Fi that's security blanket for your network, and reliability. Fiber-powered network with 99.99% reliability, built for speed so you can run multiple devices at once, and Wi-Fi that makes everything in your home tie and work together. Consistency, you can lock in 5 years of predictability. 5 years, the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi with our best equipment. Plus, you can get online with minutes, same-day Wi-Fi. Hey man, that's the price lock guarantee. 5 years, same price, no contracts, no commitments. It's all included. Everything you need, including the data and equipment, the most reliable Wi-Fi. That's Xfinity, guys. Imagine that.
Hey, Robbie Andino here at BeatTheDA.com. I've handled over 7,000 cases and 300 trials. My entire family's military, and I want to carry that legacy over to helping you grunts and officers out. If you've got a divorce going on, or you got a domestic violence, or heck, if you've even been put in handcuffs, give me a ring immediately. I've never lost a DV trial. That leads me to be a beast in a courtroom, in a divorce case, in a custody case. Let's face it, the paper-pushing telephone softies can't compete. Hit me up at BeatTheDA.com or give me a ring, 720-706-5151.
They'll tell you marketing is complicated, that you need a dozen platforms, 100 dashboards, and a prayer. Forget that. Your customers are right here, listening to this station. Heck, you are right now. Tonight, they're streaming Denver's biggest games. Tomorrow, they're locked into the most talked-about podcasts on the planet. We put you in all of it. Radio, streaming, TV, audio, one team, clear data, real results. We've been growing businesses like yours for years. Visit DenverSports.com and click the Advertise With Us button. That's DenverSports.com. Let's get to work.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents
last night in drafting anybody. They can be on the clock at pick number 35. You and I agreed to start the show that it's probably best case scenario for them not to make a selection tonight at 35 or 49, really, and start to maybe look to move some of these pieces that are already on the roster and see what you end up with. So before we dive into that, and then I want to revisit something we were talking about with the drive during Crosstalk yesterday. Let's talk about this video, this Josh Kroenke video that everybody saw last night from the War Room. One of the things that we were debating just now on the break was the amount of bodies in the room. And then you went through the actual list of, because when I saw it, I pause it and I screenshot and I'm like, there's 20 plus people just in this photo alone. Is that pretty much the norm of what everybody else is going on in the NBA? Because a part of me goes, all right, when you explained it and you went over all the names of scouts and regional scouts and the people that would be in that room, I can go, okay, there's a handful of them that are in there and probably are just silent, that they're just in there for the sake of being in there. But when you have like 20-something people in there, it's like, are there too many opinions circulating around that room, or is this just the way that it goes down inside of War Rooms? And then, of course, the clap from Josh, and then the kind of like, what the heck moment from Josh is what got people talking on the internet last night. So the number, you convinced me that that's all good. That's the right amount of people in that room because of their job titles.
Well, and some of the names I just mentioned, and I can show you the faces of these people, that's a name I just mentioned to you off air.
Yeah.
But I literally can name these people. They're irrelevant to most of you people listening. But essentially, it's the scouts, it's part of the coaching staff, it's player personnel. There's probably some Grand Rapids Golds folks there, so they're in on the organizational plan. It's PR folks. It's, Kevin Demoff and Josh Kroenke are the primary figures in this picture, and then Ben Tenzer as well. So none of the people in this room are surprising. The Lakers room was the only War Room I saw that had significantly less bodies, and that comes over the rumors that the Lakers have fired a lot of people in their front office because they were just bought by the Dodgers people, and the Dodgers people are going to start doing it their way, which if I were the Dodgers people, I'd probably be doing that too because their way seems to be pretty good.
Yeah, they're doing something right there in Los Angeles.
But this video, I think the internet's, look, man, I've been crushing them, and I'm the first to put up conspiracy theories or try to figure out what's going on with the Kroenkes. I think this video is much to do about nothing. I said it right when it happened on social media. They clearly, in my mind, were clapping because it's a lot of people who are never on camera and never on TV because that was the thing they're supposed to do in that situation. And Josh probably saw them clapping, started clapping, and then realized, what are we all clapping for? We didn't do anything.
It's almost like a funny moment of like, whoa, what are we doing? And that's kind of how I took it too, of like, we're clapping over a trade because we're supposed to clap, but then Josh going, guys, we didn't do anything. I don't know that we need to celebrate right now.
Right, and the only thing that I think you could really read into this is nobody seemed to laugh or like have like a good reaction to Josh being that guy, which, we all have different communication styles with our boss. And, while the chief culture officer of KSE might want to believe he's close with everybody in the KSE family.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people in that family and a lot of different organizations. And I doubt that all of those people are comfortable with Josh. And I know people who work very high up in some KSE organizations and only talk to Josh once or twice a year. So it might be weird for a couple of these people to all of a sudden have their boss kind of half-heartedly, even so, yelling at them, be like, hey, what are we clapping for? And you're not really sure how to react.
What am I supposed to do with my hands?
I think that part, to me, says more than the clapping, no clapping thing that they were doing. But we kind of already knew all of that stuff about, like, is Josh really that close with this organization as he knows, or as he says? We got that answer last year when he didn't know that Michael Malone and Calvin Booth were feuding when the entire world knew.
Yeah. And look, he used to be my boss, so I can tell you the couple of interactions I had, and I go at him pretty hard too for some of the decisions they make. But he was always like, I mean, you've been around him too. Like, he's always friendly and puts the right face forward and those sort of things. That's kind of what it was to me, of like, I think it was almost like a funny moment in the room of like, what are we clapping at, guys? We didn't really do anything here. Take it easy for a second. And almost like a chuckle moment of like, oh, we're just going through the motions.
You talk about your relations with Josh. by the way, you were a frontward-facing person who was on camera during an NBA Finals run.
I was. Yeah.
A lot of the people in the room last night were people that I didn't even say the names of, even though I know, because people on the radio would have no idea. I'm just talking about John and David and Mike.
Right,
people
right.
don't know who I'm talking about, so it doesn't matter. People actually recognized Josh Dover. You know what I mean? Like, seemingly, I could walk up on the street and I could be like, hey, Josh, what are the Nuggets going to do with Jamal? Are they going to trade him? I know you know. Whereas, like, these random guys could be walking down the street and no one even knows they work for the Nuggets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's revealing in itself in some ways.
So we'll go much to do about nothing. Neither of us are reading into his body language and think that he was losing his mind in the war room.
You want to talk about bodies? I had much more interesting opinions and was much more intrigued by the video of Nikola Jokic practicing and the way his body looked.
We're getting to that at 11:45.
Than the way the bodies of the Denver Nuggets front office looked yesterday during the draft.
Yeah, everything is all right down there. And again, without picking a player, I actually kind of like if they're going the direction I think they're going, and we'll find out tonight. I'm not that mad at what it looks like it can be right now.
I would expect them to probably make one of those two picks because it's really hard to move out of both of those second-round picks.
49, too. You're
like, what are we going to get? A future second-round pick? Like, it's at that point, it's kind of hard to get anything better. Whereas at 35, you might be able to get, hey, we've got a future second and a second future second that's like protected to the top 55 or something, whatever, and then it converts to cash. So there are guys available on the board that I think are somewhat interesting, that I could make a case that would be impactful in the sense that they would be third stringers and might get some action here and there. But none of the guys left on the board, even at 26 last night, even including Koa Pete, was I going, that's a rotation player in the NBA right now. And that's the thing, is the Denver Nuggets need either rotation players or cheap players to fill out their roster. They can't live in the world of between with guys like Julian Strawther and Deron Holmes the last couple of years, where it's like they're rookies that are making a little bit more than the minimum, but they're not really rotation players yet. And I know with Strawther, he should be a rotation player. That's more of a coaching thing.
Yeah.
And with Holmes, it's more of just he's been hurt, so it's hard to knock him for that.
And I'm not sure he could guard you. That's also an issue.
I think he could guard me.
Oh, okay.
Could he guard you? No. Could he guard me? Probably.
All right, quick Nuggets break. We've officially hit the offseason for the Broncos. I've broke down the Broncos roster into 22 different groups. Some of it's just a single player, other are positions, and then, of course, coaches that we're going to talk about. We're going to be breaking down one of these grouper players every day right around this time until camp. Today, I got to have this conversation with you, Jake. Today it's about Bo Nix. I just don't feel like you're a believer, and I'm going to do my best to get you on the right side. Coming up next.
Parents, looking for a fun way to get your kid active this summer?
Are you kidding me?
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan's third annual Be a Mentor, Be a Fan Youth Football Camp is back. Brought to you by Walmart. Saturday, June 27th at Denver South High School's All-City Stadium. Your child, ages 8 to 14, will learn the fundamentals of football in a safe, hands-on environment from people who played the game at the highest level. We're talking former Denver Broncos Mark Schlereth, Philip Lindsay, and Brandon Stokely, along with a trusted coaching staff from Denver South. And every dollar raised goes to Big Brothers Big Sisters of Colorado. So your family is giving back just by showing up. Sign up today at DenverSports.com/camp. That's DenverSports.com/camp.
Buy gold and put some silver in your pocket. I know what you're thinking. Everything's expensive right now. How am I going to buy gold? It's Ron Paul. Nowadays, a lot of things are out of your control. But there is something you can do right now to diversify your retirement, and it doesn't cost you anything out of pocket. My friends at Birch Gold Group will help you convert an IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, a time-tested hedge against inflation. Plus, in honor of America 250, Birch Gold is going to give you a special America 250 1-ounce silver round for every $10,000 you purchase by July 2nd. Text the word SECURE to the number 989898 to get a free info kit from Birch Gold and claim eligibility for this limited time offer. Again, text the word SECURE to 989898 today.
For over a century, 9 days defined the West. From the dust, the Bronx, the Bulls, and the legends. 9 days built a legacy. But legends don't stand still. The daddy of them all just got bigger. 10 days that redefine the West. 10 days when legends ride longer. 10 days of rodeo. Cheyenne Frontier Days. 10 days, one legend. Tickets on sale now at CFDrodeo.com.
In Colorado, relationships matter. That's why contractors across the Front Range choose Western Pacific for doors and millwork. 35 years of quality products, next-day delivery, and fast will call service. Visit GoWestPack.com. Western Pacific, local ownership, professional expertise.
Hey guys, your boy Stink here, and if you're a guy over 50 dealing with an enlarged prostate, you need to know about PAE, prostate artery embolization. It's minimally invasive, done through a tiny pinhole, and you're back home the same day. Most men who have PAE don't experience any sexual side effects associated with conventional prostate surgery. At Colorado Advanced Endovascular, their experienced team offers specialized prostate treatments with near zero impact on sexual function. Top-tier radiologists, boutique setting, personalized care in Lakewood. Go to coloradoae.com.
Tune in Tuesday afternoons for Injury Insights with Zach Bai and Dr. Joseph Ramos to hear the latest injury news on your local teams and around the world of sports. Ramos Law. What makes us different makes us better.
If you have to deal with pain that causes you to struggle climbing stairs, can't kneel down, or even raise your arms, that means you don't play with the kids, golf with the guys, or get through a workday without exhausting pain. Hey, it's Mike Evans, and I'm here to celebrate what you can do. And that's exactly what QC Kinetics patients are doing, not bracing for the next jolt of pain. It's gone. They've moved on, back to living their lives. You've heard me talk about the team at QC Kinetics, and so many of you have been through their game-changing regenerative treatments, done right in the office. No missing work, no surgery, no long recovery. The inflammation calms down, the pain backs off. And they love hearing from you, how we here at The Fan help you dig out from under that long list of can'ts and get back to living your best life. So go find out what you can do. It's a good life out there, folks. Go live it to the fullest. Let's get rid of that pain starting now. The consultation's totally free to see if you're a good candidate. Call 303-900-8986, 303-900-8986, with locations in Aurora, Superior, Highlands Ranch, and the Springs. It's QC Kinetics.
Colorado weather can be unpredictable, but your roof doesn't have to be. When hail, wind, or storm damage strikes, trust Colorado's Best Roofing. Locally owned and operated since 2012, and a proud GAF Master Elite contractor with an A+ BBB rating. They provide expert roofing solutions for both residential and commercial properties and work with all insurance companies. Don't wait for a small problem to become a costly repair. Schedule your free roof inspection today and get the peace of mind you deserve. Visit roofingcolorado.com.
Want real Broncos talk? Cecil Lammy and Andrew Mason bring the heat on Orange and Blue Today. The most passionate intelligence and in-depth Broncos coverage in the game. Weekdays at 5 p.m. on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan YouTube channel. Hit subscribe at Denver Sports 104.3 and never miss another take. Orange and Blue Today, powered by Ramos Law, official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. It's Dover and Cecil on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
All right, every day around 11:15-ish, we're going to start to look at some of these Broncos players, position groups. We'll ultimately get to a conversation about their coaches, not just Sean B.J. Davis. But Jake Shapiro sitting in for Cecil Lammy. Yesterday, we were kind of going over Broncos conversations, and I wanted to get into a conversation, just a little bit more deeper of a conversation, about who Bo Nix is and what we were expecting from a guy like Bo Nix. Yesterday, we talked about him taking the next step, or the defense being better at taking the ball away, and what would help the Broncos a little bit more. And in that conversation, I heard some of your doubts about Bo and some of the things that you're worried about what this young quarterback can be or go to. And I just wanted to explore that a little more. I mentioned the number 4,200 yards yesterday. So, Jake, if I said Bo Nix is going to throw for 4,200 yards, he's going to have a 30-touchdown season passing, 11, I don't know, call it 10 to 12 interceptions. I wrote down 11 just to meet in the middle somewhere. Anywhere between 400 and 420 rushing yards, dude. with 3 or 4 rushing touchdowns added to that. How is that not a top-tier quarterback level season? I know he hasn't done that, and that's me projecting what he can do this year with the addition of Jalen Waddle, J.K. Dobbins staying healthy, knocking on wood, crossing my fingers, and Davis Webb calling the plays. I don't think I'm going too crazy with those numbers, to be honest. He's flirted with 30 touchdowns before. The interception number's right around it. He can run the football. Expect him to be right around those rushing yards again this season. So I don't even think I'm going that far out on a limb. And I think they're very achievable numbers. What do you think about that projected stat line? And if he achieves that, does it change how you feel about Bo?
So yards you had
4,200.
300 more than his career high.
Yep.
Touchdowns you had
30.
1 more than his career high.
Right.
Rushing yards you had
400.
Which is about in line with what he does every
Pretty
year.
average, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And interceptions you had
11.
Which is what he had last year.
Mm-hmm. So like I said, I'm adding 300 yards passing. We just had the conversation about Jalen Waddle, and you still have questions about him that are fair, but 300 extra yards passing, I think Bo can achieve that with what the offense is going to look like.
That's 18 more a game.
Pretty easy. Should be. A team that leads the league in passing attempts.
Well, they shouldn't next year.
Well,
so
agreed,
keep that in mind.
But I also know Sean's fingerprints are going to be all over this thing, even if he's not calling the plays.
It's the Broncos' offense, not Sean's.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Make
Sorry,
sure
Coach.
you're clear on that. Okay. When you hear the numbers raw, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to just break them down one by one, it sounds a little Looney Tunes.
What? How?
It sounds just because you're just like, Bo's going to throw for 4,200 yards. 30 touchdown, 42. But when you break it down number by number, all of it is explainable. It's all, okay, a little bit better or his career high. And for a guy going into his age 26 season, his 3rd one in the NFL, it would make sense that he's still climbing towards his peak of his career. Yeah. He hasn't gotten there yet. Now, I would argue with more rushing attempts coming and some worries, unfortunately, I still have about the ankle as much as I don't want to have him. I think he will run the ball a little bit less this year. You already saw it his sophomore year. He ran less than his rookie year. And I think he'll throw the ball less than he did last year, which was 612 times, led the National Football League. With both of those things in mind, I would still say that he is likely to throw for 4,000 yards as long as he plays in all 17 next year. But I don't think that he's getting all the way to 42. I don't think he's rushing for 400. The interceptions, that's a little bit of luck, but let's say 11 is cool, and 30 touchdowns I think is completely doable. So I'm actually, if I were to say one of your projections is low, I would say it's touchdowns.
Okay.
I think there's a world in which he throws for 33, 35 touchdowns next year. Especially when you consider the fact that he's run for touchdowns, and I think he's going to run the ball less. Last year, he ran for, trying to pull it up off the top here, he ran for a couple touchdowns. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but he ran for a couple touchdowns, his rookie year as well. So let's just say a couple of those are...
I think it was 4 rookies and 2 net last off the top of my head.
Right. It was just a handful, basically. But let's just say a couple of those are converted into passing touchdowns, and Jalen Waddle breaks you open over the middle. Like, those are things that can happen. So I think it's more likely that he throws for 30 touchdowns next year than he throws for 4,200 yards.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, he's not going to go regress, right? Do you think he's over 4,000? He was 69 yards away from 4,000 last year. Does he get to 4,000 this year?
Yes.
So if he has 4,000 yards, which is the marker for quarterbacks, that's, hey, he threw for 4,000. You got to get there.
When it was a 16-game season.
Well, but only... 6 guys threw for 4,000 last year?
It's still really impressive. I'm just trying to give you a hard time.
So you get to that number that everybody loves, 4,000. If he had 34 touchdown passes, that's good for second in the NFL a year ago. I don't know that it'll be that same number. Stafford's still here. Patrick's going to be better. Josh Allen has more weapons this time around. But so he's at 4,000. He's north of 30 touchdown passes. Just those 2 numbers alone put him in the top 3 of NFL quarterbacks.
How much of it, though, is Bo versus how much of it is Sean's scheme and they have a great offensive line?
But you can't. I mean, Bo still gets credit for that.
Sure, but it doesn't make me go, Bo is a top 5 quarterback in the league. Bo is playing like a top 5 quarterback in the league, but I don't think he is a top 5 quarterback in the league if that happens.
And how long would he have to do that to convince you of?
Give me the major contract, see the offensive line go away, leave him with one target, and see if he's still Mahomes. Mahomes is doing all this with, look at Kansas City, man. That's not a good team.
No.
So, or Lamar, and I know Lamar took a down step last year, but Lamar is doing it with,
But I also think, everybody wants the Mahomes quarterback. I'm telling you right now, we're the Bo Show. We always call ourselves the Bo Show. Bo's never going to be Patrick Mahomes-like.
And that's the problem.
I don't know if it's a problem.
If you pay him like Mahomes, it will be.
That's just the market. Market value requires to pay your quarterback this number, and if your quarterback has the most wins, the most touchdowns, and the most yards of his entire quarterback class, I don't know what there is to argue against.
As soon as you give him that deal, unless you think he is one of the 20 greatest quarterbacks in the history of sport, you have no chance of winning a Super Bowl.
I don't think that's the case.
That's what history's proven to us in the salary cap era.
So if you pay your quarterback like every NFL team that has a quarterback has to do, you can't win anymore?
Who has won?
Patrick Mahomes.
And?
Matthew Stafford.
Okay. Matthew Stafford is the other guy. And Bo could maybe project to be like Matthew Stafford?
That'd be a great projection. I don't know if I'm even willing to go out on that limb. Matthew Stafford's a multi-time MVP.
Bo wins how many MVPs in his career?
At least one.
You think Bo wins an MVP?
I do. Dude, he's going to put up 4,500 yards and have 35 to 40 touchdowns in a season. That gets you in the conversation.
I would take Caleb Williams over Bo next year.
This coming year?
Yeah.
I think Caleb's going to be great.
Yeah.
And I could use your same argument. Who was Caleb with, who was the coach when they drafted him?
Oh, my God. Bonehead Eberflus.
Eberflus. Doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Caleb looked lost. Now he's get Ben Johnson, who's a stud, and he's figuring it out. Just like Sean, Bo, and Davis, the combination, they all get credit for that. Just like, and I'm kind of a Caleb Williams hater, but
Bo has never made a play like Caleb did in the playoffs.
You're right. He did make the one play.
That's the difference.
But you know what? Caleb Williams made the one play. Bo Nix has been in the playoffs multiple times.
Well, he hasn't made a one play. He threw up a Hail Mary. First off, okay?
Are you talking about the Jordan throw, the jump off your back foot?
It's one of the sickest plays I've ever seen.
Oh my God, he's the greatest quarterback of all time. Because he made one play, he's better than Bo Nix.
Yes.
No.
Because Bo doesn't have that.
That is the dumbest argument I've ever heard then.
Throws going down to the ground, knee an inch away from turf, and finds Cortland Sutton right between the 1 and the 4.
That was pretty sick.
That is pretty sick.
Did it win him a playoff game?
No, but it helped him get there for the second straight year.
That's what I'm saying, though. Bo has shown at times in his Broncos career and at times at Oregon an ability to make the big play. But he doesn't consistently make an unbelievable play that only the 5 best quarterbacks in the world can make.
Hold on. How many great plays did Tom Brady make? Where's his highlight reel?
I mean, did you just...
No. I mean, because...
I'm answering.
Last I'm seeing is...
There's a 20-minute highlight reel from the Randy Moss season alone.
Oh, he threw bombs.
Yeah.
That's not great plays from Tom Brady. That's just bombs.
Stepping up in the pocket, dodging the edge.
Yeah, so did Peyton Manning. But we're not going to say that's the best of all time because of these random plays. You're saying Caleb Williams had a jump throw, and that makes him one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time because he had a jump throw.
No, I'm saying it makes him better than Bo Nix.
Because of a jump throw?
That won him a playoff game, yes.
Tom Brady never had a jump throw. Tom Brady never hurdled anyone. Tom Brady never ran for 30 yards in a game. Tom Brady never did any of that, but he's considered the GOAT.
That throw is super impressive. Super impressive. We were all in awe of that throw. But I'm not going to let one moment trump what I've seen Bo do for 2 straight years. Now, who Caleb's becoming with Ben, completely different conversation.
Well, and it's not just one throw, though. I mean, Caleb threw for as many yards as Bo did last year. Caleb threw for as many touchdowns and fewer interceptions as Bo did last year. Like, I'm not just saying, like, look, Caleb was the top quarterback in his draft class for a reason. The reason I bring up Caleb to begin with is because you said he would be leading his class.
No, I said he already is leading his class. Touchdowns, yards, wins. He's the winner of all of them.
And that counts the rookie year when Eberflus, the bonehead, was running Caleb Williams. And I know it counts, but point is Caleb had basically the exact same year, if not better, than Bo Nix last year. And I think Caleb Williams will be one of the best quarterbacks in the sport next year. And Bo Nix, in my mind, will be an above-average, very good quarterback.
All right.
Not one of those elite guys. So when you talk about when it comes to contract in February, who is going to get the biggest contract in the class, Caleb Williams should be paid higher than Bo Nix.
Well, let's keep this conversation going on a little information our guy Kev gave us, a little kiss my stats action.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Did the Bears still lose that game in overtime?
Jake?
No.
We sure?
Didn't they won that game, didn't they?
I don't remember.
That was the game they won.
I blacked out. We'll find out, and we'll answer that question. I want to get into further conversation about what Bo can do, how he can elevate these numbers, be better than Caleb if they simply do something different inside the 5-yard line. That's coming up next.
Parents, looking for a fun way to get your kid active this summer?
Are you kidding me?
DenverSports 104.3 The Fan's third annual Be a Mentor, Be a Fan Youth Football Camp is back. Brought to you by Walmart. Saturday, June 27th at Denver South High School's All-City Stadium. Your child, ages 8 to 14, will learn the fundamentals of football in a safe, hands-on environment from people who played the game at the highest level. We're talking former Denver Broncos Mark Schlereth, Philip Lindsay, and Brandon Stokely, along with a trusted coaching staff from Denver South. And every dollar raised goes to Big Brothers Big Sisters of Colorado. So your family is giving back just by showing up. Sign up today at DenverSports.com/camp. That's DenverSports.com/camp.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
We do, and you will too when you see Tacori.
Handcrafted in California, Tacori rings have design details you won't find in any other diamond engagement rings.
Including Tacori's perfectly engineered crown and windows of light created by Tacori's iconic crescent design.
It's the Tacori Touch, and you'll find it at Williams Jewelers, Colorado's only platinum Tacori store. I'm Steve Williams.
I'm Shayna Williams.
And I'm Dylan Williams. You'll find all your Tacori jewelry at Williams Jewelers of Inglewood, along with one of the largest selections of certified loose diamonds in the state, all at the guaranteed best price.
So come, fall in love with the Tacori ring she's always dreamed of.
Tacori at Williams Jewelers of Inglewood,
Colorado's premier jeweler.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
Williams Jewelers of Inglewood, where Colorado shines, on the corner of Bellevue and Broadway, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
All right, barbecue fans, Dan Jacobs with Jacobs Law and 303 Law 4040 with something special for you that we're cooking up for the best free meal in all of Denver. Now, in addition to my delicious smoked pulled pork that we serve on nearly a monthly basis, and my copycat Chipotle chicken recipe that has a kiss of smoke and is fantastic, our friends over at Old Style Sausage, a local company that makes these sausages that are custom made for the smoker, Mike Daborski over there is going to give us some, so this summer they will join the menu at the best free meal in Denver. We're here to help. It's every first and third Thursday. You get free groceries and a hot meal for the night. No questions asked. You just pull up and pop the trunk. It's every first and third Thursday, Smoky Hill and Arapahoe Road, E Hills Church from 4 to 6 p.m. Help us spread the word.
If you're looking for an SUV that's ready for anything Colorado throws at you, Schomp Honda has you covered with the 2026 Honda Passport. It's bold, rugged, and built for the adventurer in all of us. Whether it's a mountain trail or a Monday morning commute, the 2026 Passport can handle it with ease. And with their one price, one person, 1 hour philosophy, you get a fair price up front, one advisor from start to finish, and way less time at the dealership. And remember, they never charge dealer handling fees.
Most small business break-ins happen between 2 and 5 a.m. The owner finds out when they unlock the door at 7. Pull footage from a consumer system and you get a silhouette in a hoodie. Nothing identifiable. Vantage installs cameras that read a face in total darkness. And they don't stop at cameras. Access control, network, intercom, cabling, AV. One company, one number. Ready to invest in real security for your business or property? Call Vantage at 720-366-7759 or visit business.vssicolorado.com today.
Mike Rowe here with another fun fact. If your concrete is cracked or uneven, you can actually lift it back up. Whether it's a sinking driveway, a patio, or a sidewalk, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys. They're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to lift your concrete slabs. Schedule a free inspection with Groundworks, the foundation and waterproofing experts.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Denver Deck Builders is a family-run business. Their owner, Ron Gibbous, is here with me. Family is what you have in mind when you build a deck.
Customer service is critical to us. We try to figure out what meets every customer's needs and build them a product that they will enjoy spending outdoor quality family time on. Deck time is usually family time.
Start planning your family's outdoor living space with Denver Deck Builders. Go to ddbonthefan.com.
Taco Bell's new jalapeno citrus salsa, the sauce with main character energy. At participating U.S. Taco Bell locations for a limited time only, while supplies last.
This segment on The Fan brought to you by Denver Roof Pros.
Listen up, Denver. This hour's keyword is triple, TRIPLE. Text triple to 303-713-1043 right now for your chance to win a $250 gas card. That's triple to 303-713-1043.
By texting, you agree to receive an automated marketing message from DenverSports 1043 The Fan. Message and data rates may apply. For complete rules or to enter the keyword online, visit www.denversports.com/keyword.
Denver Sports 1043 The Fan presents Dover and Cecil.
All right, we're having an argument about Bo Nix and Caleb Williams. And maybe, just maybe, the latest version of Kiss My Stats will help some of this. Now, if they do what they should probably do, we're probably looking at, hey, well, Bo won't be as involved inside the 5-yard line. So my man Kevin Kistner for Kiss My Stats went back and looked at what the Denver Broncos did inside the 5-yard line in the 25-26 season. They had 25 trips where they were hiking the ball from at the 5 or inside of it. It ended with 15 touchdowns and 4 field goals. 6 trips ended with 0 points inside the 5-yard line. So when you look at this and what these numbers look like, well, they had 26 pass attempts, 7 touchdowns of those 26. 20 were rush attempts. 8 of those were touchdowns. So 8 out of 20 were rushing touchdowns. 7 out of 26 were passing touchdowns. Your percentage is going to be better for rushing the football. Will Davis-Webb simply be the guy that goes, nope, I'm not going to force this. I don't want it to look a certain way. Or, like I said, this is where it kind of goes against my argument for Bo's stats. I don't have to stat pad for my quarterback. We're going to do what's right for the football team. When you're inside the 5-yard line, run the damn ball. Run the freaking football, especially if you trust the offensive line. You've talked about some of the questions there, Jake. But with 46 total plays inside the opponent's 5, you had 26 pass attempts and 20 rush attempts. Honestly, the number, what was it, Kev? Did we get to 7? I think the difference is what Cecil and I said last year. Like if the run-pass discrepancy is 7 more for the pass than it is the run, that's about as equal as you're going to get for a Sean Payton offense. And here we're looking at the number just being 6, the difference between pass and runs. So maybe that's as close as I'm going to get for a Sean Payton type of offense. But I just look at the success rates there. The numbers alone tell you, hey, run the ball more than you're throwing the football. Why don't they do that?
Well, success rates, I mean, outside of the red zone at least, would tell you that passing plays are more efficient than running plays, although running plays are more guaranteed to get you the yards that you are estimated per play, even if the passing plays have a higher EPA. I would tell you that there is one person on the Denver Broncos staff who would be scarred by the accusation of stat padding your quarterback stats.
Who?
Robert Livingston.
He'd be pissed about it.
Well, he'd be sitting there going, dang it, I just left Boulder. This again?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, like, I don't know. One of the biggest things really for me is that they just need to run the ball more. And that's one of the things that might nick Bo Nix's stats a little bit is they just need to pound the rock a lot more. They need to eat the clock in games. And as much of an old school smash mouth approach this might be that isn't as sexy, I think the Broncos being a running heavier team next year is one of their keys to success. It's one of the areas that they really struggled in from a scheme standpoint last year, and I think it particularly cost them in the second half when JK wasn't there to kind of save their behinds just because his talent stood out and he was able to break out of that scheme and make plays himself.
I'm looking at some of the numbers from Kevin for Kiss My Stats. All right, of the 26 passing attempts, 1 interception and 2 sacks. So we're talking about 3 negative plays of the 26. Maybe this is where Sean's drawing his information from. 6 of the rushing plays ran for 0 yards or negative yards. So it's 3 negative plays throwing the ball to 6 what we would call negative plays rushing the ball.
And we would need to go over all 6 plays, but if you have 6 plays in the red zone where you're going backwards from a rushing standpoint, whose fault do you think that is?
It's probably the offensive lines.
Like I've been saying.
And you've said that. And now I will go, Kevin did break it down. One of those is Tyler Bidet, a 1-yard negative run. One of those is Adam Prentice, a 1-yard or 1 0-yard run. Those 2 guys shouldn't even get the football. They should not be a part of it, and they won't be moving forward because of Jonah Coleman. Maybe Prentice. Tyler Bidet, it's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
But
Him and Jaleel McLaughlin shouldn't be on the team
Don't
anymore.
put a little fullback dive past this offense.
Oh, I know.
That seems like something Sean's going to go to the grave with.
A team with Adam Troutman and Nate Atkins, you still need fullback dives. But, we can eliminate 3 of those plays because they shouldn't even have been on the field. So now we're talking it's even. You're 3 bad plays running the ball and 3 bad plays throwing the ball.
Yeah, and you can't discount the fact that they're maybe a little more willing to take chances in the red zone because their kicker is so solid.
Oh, that's a
so
good
if
point.
they lose a couple yards or if they don't go anywhere, they're like, okay, well, Will Lutz will come and save us with the 3 points. Whereas a lot of teams go, we're a little shaky about this. We want to get to 4th and 2 so we can make the call.
Yeah, we'll figure out if Davis Webb trusts those running backs a little bit more or the point you've been bringing up, that offensive line, will it or won't it hold up? Hey, summer's here. That means road trips. High gas prices might have you questioning whether or not you can take that trip. Let Denver Sports help you out. Enter for your chance to win a weekly $250 gas card, a possible grand prize of $1,000. All you have to do is listen. You're doing it right now. Listen for keywords every hour, then you hear it. Text it to 303-713-1043 before that hour ends. The more keywords you enter, the more chances you have to win the gift. For more complete rules and signing or getting involved, visit DenverSports.com/keyword. That's DenverSports.com/keyword. Let's hook up the tribe with a little gas card. All right, what's happening on our Twitter timeline that we want to share? You said it earlier, Jake. We'll dive into it. Nikola Jokic's body. That's what was on Twitter and impressing us yesterday. Details coming up next.
Does Denver's 2 MVP superstars need to win at least one more championship each in order to cement their legacies as all-time greats in their sport?
But if you are talking about legacies and you're talking about all-time greatness and you're talking about the idea of your players or your teams being remembered 20, 30, 40 years from now, and you really do care about legacy, then yes, Jokic has to win another championship. McKinnon has to win another Stanley Cup.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Progressive knows you've got plenty of things to worry about.
What time does the kids' practice end? How long has that check engine light been on? Are takeout containers microwave safe?
So the last thing you should have to worry about is what to do if something unexpected happens on the road. That's why if you're ever in a major accident, Progressive's accident response can detect it and send help. It's just one less thing to worry about.
How long does chicken last in the fridge?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
Meet Lee Platts, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
Hey, it's Phil Lindsay here. Do you need a new roof, gutters, or exterior needs? Monarch is your one-stop shop, backed by 16 years of experience and over 10,000 satisfied customers. Their in-house insurance team fights for you, and their white glove service means every detail is handled with care. Competitive pricing, award-winning craftsmanship, And the only roofer the Denver Broncos chose to endorse. A proud member of Team Dave Logan, make the call to your home team, Monarch Construction and Roofing, the official roofer of the Denver Broncos.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Rob Biadino here at BeatTheDA.com. My law firm's doing a ton of divorce cases these days. And the bottom line is I see a lot of controlling spouses. They try to control and threaten you with calling the police. They threaten you with taking the kids. But the worst ones are to control the money. The ones who control the money, we got to get to the bottom of. We got the investigators. We got the forensic guys. We got the experts, the bank guys. They can go find and track whatever's hidden. At the end of the day, hit me up at BeatTheDA.com or 720-706-5151.
Hey guys, boy Steve here today about my long-term buddy Troy Hansford. And if you're thinking about selling your house for any reason, now might be the time to sell, still get top dollar. Believe it or not, my guy Troy is still offering his $5,000 guarantee. What is it, you ask? Well, if he can't sell your house at your price on your timeline that you agree upon beforehand, bam, going to cut you a check for $5,000. Who else makes the offer? Nobody I've ever heard of. And he makes that offer because he continues to spend a ton of money marketing his listings, has about 100 families approved and ready to buy right now. And if for any reason you need to sell right away, Troy can buy your house, all cash, and he can close in as little as 7 days. You have a house to sell, Troy probably has that perfect buyer for you right now, waiting for you to pick up the phone and to call him. Call Troy, get your home sold for the most money. That's 720-900-4433, 720-900-4433. Troy Hansford of RE/MAX Professionals, a Colorado licensed broker. Some restrictions do apply. Want to sell your house? Then call my buddy Troy, 720-900-4433.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Stream Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Dover and Cecil, The Drive, and all your favorite shows on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan app. Powered by Advanced Tax Solutions. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Don't at me, bro. It's time to check your ex.
Why are you stalking me?
No, not that ex. Twitter, unfollow. Here's Dover and Cecil to help you swipe, scroll, and screenshot your way through today's top headlines.
Power of social media. I'm on Team Gets It.
All right, what's happening on our Twitter timeline that we want to share? Jake Shapiro sitting in for Cease, and you brought it up a little earlier, Jake. I said we're going to get into that at 11:45. Not only do we get to watch Nikola Jokic play basketball on Saturday, June 27th, he's going to play in a friendly for Serbia against Czech Republic. You referenced the video of him warming up and just shooting around, and dude, looks like he lost a little weight, looks like he's a little more ripped in the right places. He looks like, dare I say, the 2023 version of one Nikola Jokic. Now, Jake, is this just, him having a harder workout schedule, or do you think this is, hey, Nikola Jokic is upset the way things went down, and he's going to do everything he can to make sure he's prepared next season?
People aren't going to like this.
Uh-oh.
When I saw Nikola Jokic before games in the playoffs, I thought he looked too skinny.
Too skinny?
And sickly.
Ooh.
I thought he looked really bad. And people, I think, are misremembering what Jokic looked like in 2023. He didn't look skinny, and he didn't look fat. He looked fit. Mm-hmm. And people have commented sometimes when he looks fat or when he looks skinny. A lot of people have said he looks good when he looks skinny. I disagree. I think you need the bulk and the size. And maybe there's something to it where he's going to take a little more weight off his knee after a knee injury, and the game's going a little bit more with roaming bigs like Victor Wembanyama rather than the bulky bigs. I think one of Jokic's greatest strengths, quite literally, is his strength.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see Jokic looks skinnier, and to some people he looks a little more muscular, to me he doesn't.
I think it was just skinny as well.
I think he looked skinny, I think he looked thin, and I do not think that that is good news.
So you think he lost muscle or just lost weight?
I think he lost weight.
Because I still think he's going to be strong, and that's like the deception of Nikola, and you've heard it 1,000 times from the guys that he plays against. Like, oh no, he's actually pretty strong.
He's one of the strongest players in the NBA.
Yeah. So, like, if you're losing muscle, that's an issue. If you're just losing weight because you are taking some pressure off your knee, or you go, oh, I do got to move around a little bit more on the defensive side of the floor. I'm going to have to cut some LBs to do that. And maybe that's wishful thinking on my part, but that was a part of my brain yesterday of seeing where he is, of like, okay, I don't think he's losing strength, but if he's losing weight to be more mobile and have more agility, and now when I say more agility, keep that in mind that it's Nikola Jokic agility we're talking about, but a little bit more agility to just simply slide your feet, not be a turnstile of a defender, I like what that could be.
I understand why people think they look at the skinniness and go, oh, he's going to be more mobile, he's going to be a better version of himself. I again go back to what I've seen Jokic at his absolute best, and I never once thought he looked skinny when he's been at his absolute best. And to me now, since the knee injury, he's looked skinny. And this was further affirmation that he looks skinny. Now, this is 7 weeks since we last saw any public appearance of him in basketball shorts, and maybe this is a point in the offseason where he hasn't really bulked up yet. And, you know, bulking up for the NBA season is a little bit different than bulking up for Eurobasket qualifier, World Cup qualifiers. There'll be some time off between this round of games and the next round, and then there'll be some time off between that and the preseason. But I would want to see Jokic put on a little bit more weight, personally.
Okay. All right, I got one more, then I want to know what's on your Twitter timeline.
Win the World Cup. So tell me, what's the best cup that you sipped out of over the world?
The what?
The best cup that you sipped out of during your excursion over the world.
That's Jameis Winston covering the World Cup only the way Jameis can. Yesterday we talked about the NFL saying, nope, no supplemental draft. Sorry, Sorsby. You're going to have to wait yet another year. I saw this tweet. I don't even know who this person is. It was on like my For You. He's an A&M fan, so this makes a little bit more sense. He's quote tweeting that Ian Rappaport, Brendan Sorsby can't be signed as a free agent, blah, 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 all the stuff that we knew and we talked about yesterday. This person writes, the Houston Gamblers have a chance to do the funniest thing ever. The UFL Houston Gamblers, how have you not already reached out to Brendan Sorsby? Get the kid on your roster right now.
He's a great culture fit.
For what's going on in Houston?
For what's going on specifically with the Gamblers.
He's not only the quarterback, he's also the mascot of the team right there, all in one player. So it's a great tweet. Let's make it happen. Sorsby to Houston. I want it to go down.
Yeah, I love Tribe.
Oh, that's your favorite guy, Warren Schaefer, right there. Jake, what's on your Twitter timeline?
I saw a picture of the Denver Broncos over the weekend, including Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton, Evan Ingram, Troy Franklin, Pat Bryant, R.J. Harvey, all together on a boat.
Oh, I saw people were worried about this. Our old friend Nikki Javala said the "oh no" quote tweet.
Boat rides are historically a good measure for team unity and success. Of course, a reference to the New York Giants' famous boat photo.
And that was that bye week in the playoffs?
I think it was a bye week during the season, I want to say, and it was OBJ, and maybe Darren Waller was on that team, and everything went awry from there.
And it all broke down from there. I do want to say that was it was like going into the playoffs. I don't remember the exact timeline on that, but I do think there was a playoff tie-in with that photo. And
January 2017, so it would have been during the playoffs.
So during the playoffs.
With OBJ, Victor Cruz, Sterling Shepard.
So that's like the kiss of death for what they were doing in the postseason. And if I remember right, weren't they smoking a blunt? Was there a blunt or two, I think, in that photo of the original New York Giants?
It's no smoking, it looks like, from the photo I'm looking at, but they are all shirtless in January on a boat.
Now, it's because it's the Broncos, I'm going to say, oh, it's fine. It's not in the playoffs. It's an off-season hang. But in the back of my mind, I go, let's not do that anymore, boys.
Top 3 boat moments in the history of sports. Obviously, that's probably number 1. Number 2, banana boat.
Oh, the LeBron, Carmelo, Dwayne Wade?
Well, people always think it's Carmelo, but it's LeBron, Dwayne Wade, Chris Paul.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Wasn't there an incident with the Minnesota Vikings in a boat?
I think there was a Vikings. I think something like bad happened, honestly.
Yeah,
I think there was like
illegally gambling. And...
No, I think like someone might have like done off with somebody during the boat. Vikings boat scandal.
I thought it was like illegally gambling and some ladies of the night.
Vikings party boat scandal, Lake Minnetonka, 17 members of the Minnesota Vikings team. There were some ladies of the night, and allegedly photographs were taken. I don't know if there was doing off, but there was some illegal acts happening on that boat. So that was obviously a great boat moment in the history of sports
you said
as well.
17?
17 members of the Minnesota Vikings.
Every starter but 5 got invited to that boat party. Those 5 guys were pissed in the moment, grateful that they didn't show up afterwards.
Like, what the heck, man? You guys went on the boat last night? Then a couple hours later,
yeah. Glad I didn't make that boat trip. You boat guy? I mean, in Colorado, it's limited, but you like being out on a boat?
I love sailing.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a big sailor. I learned how to sail when I was young, and
that's
I love
dope.
to sail. Catamarans and
dude, when we were in I don't remember where I went last. Oh, Dominican Republic. They had like Kelsey, my lady didn't want to do it, but they had like little tiny sailboats that just for 2 people.
Like a sunfish?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And the guy's like, have you ever sailed? And I'm like, no. And he's like, I could probably teach you in about 45 minutes. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then Kelsey's like, I'm not getting on that with you after 45 minutes of training in the ocean. And I thought, okay, that's probably responsible on your part. But I still wanted to do it, and she didn't even want me to do it alone.
Talking from a guy who's been run over by a snowmobile.
It was my own snowmobile.
Yeah, but a boat is like a sailboat is a far less, that small of a sailboat is a far less dangerous thing than a snowmobile.
Yeah, I would have been fine.
Yeah.
And it's not like I'm going 2 miles out into the open ocean.
No, like you're going to keep it ashore. You're going to be scared as heck if you like go
probably not even going over the ropes that they put out there for us to swim by.
Right.
I'm just staying right there. I should have done it. I let it go by me.
Next time.
I'm going to go with you. Next time you're sailing.
Yeah.
Get out there and do it.
I've never done it in Colorado, but I mean, I'm sure with the wind here it'd be cool. Especially if there's any sort of water in like Lake Dillon. It could be a great time.
Oh, yeah. Well, if there is any water, that's the first issue. All right. That's what's on our Twitter timeline. Having some fun with it every day around 11:45. Let's talk about the Nuggets and the move that they made last night in round number 1 of the NBA draft. Plus, we'll start to answer some questions about VJ's defense on the Broncos side. Both of those are coming up next.
You asked for it, you got it. Backed by popular demand, it's the Drives Brouhaha.
Big social brouhaha.
This summer, Zach and Phil are back on the road bringing their party to you. Last up, Arvada. June 26th from 2 to 6 at Arvada Beer Garden.
That was quite a brouhaha.
Come find out what the commotion's all about. Head to DenverSports.com/drive for more details.
Guaranteed to bring the brouhaha.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This has been a test of the emergency alert system.
Patrick was way behind on his IRS taxes.
I was in way over my head. The total amount ended up being somewhere just over $30,000. $30,000.
Then the IRS came to collect.
Started getting letter after letter. A lien had been filed against me. They were going to basically hang me completely out to dry.
He had to do something.
That's when I reached out to Optima Tax Relief.
Patrick's life quickly got a lot easier.
It was very easy, pretty much hands off. They picked up the ball and ran with it.
And how'd it go?
I couldn't believe it. I had to ask 2 or 3 times. I saved an incredible amount of money.
How does Patrick feel about Optima?
Couldn't be happier. They definitely helped me. Optima Tax Relief, the best place to call. They're the best in the business.
Do what Patrick did and call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Amy Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive.
And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Meet Lee Platz, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
Hey guys, your boy Stink here, and if you're over 50, there's a good chance you're dealing with an enlarged prostate. Waking up at night, weak stream, all of it. Here's the good news. PAE, prostate artery embolization, is minimally invasive, done through a tiny pinhole, and you're home the same day. Most men who have PAE don't experience any sexual side effects associated with conventional prostate surgery. At Colorado Advanced Endovascular, their experienced team offers specialized prostate treatment with near zero impact on sexual function. Lakewood location, personalized care. Visit coloradoae.com.
Okay, I admit it. At 303 Law 4040, we like to have a little fun with the made-for-TV lawyers who pretend that they're from Colorado. In reality, they live in places like Chicago, Arizona, Texas. Heck, one guy flies in from New York City. New York City! Just so he can do his commercial and fly back home. Crazy thing happening here in Colorado. Outside private equity funds are pouring millions of advertising dollars to prop up these guys and get them to pretend they are local voices that you can trust. So what really happens when you call one of those pretend made-for-TV lawyers? Here's an example. A young man was hurt. He called one of those guys. The insurance company said, nah, we're denying the claim. No money for you. His made-for-TV lawyer said, sorry. So his friend said, you need to call 303 Law 4040. We took the case and told the insurance company their denial was BS. And they said, you're right. Here's all the money. If you've been injured, don't waste your time calling a pretend made-for-TV lawyer. Call 303 Law 4040. Go ahead, save that number in your phone. It's 303 Law 4040.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan is brought to you by Roller Auction.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents
And those boys will take you home from 2 to 6. We're live. We're local. We're talking about the stories you're talking about from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. pretty much every single day. We appreciate you being with us. Tribe Roll Call doesn't have to stop now that we're halfway through the show. You want to hit us up? Tell us who you are, where you are, what you're doing for a buck. Do that. 2 different spots to send that info. RamosLaw.com text line's open at 303-713-1043. Hit us up. Tell us who you are, where you are, what you're doing for a buck. Don't forget to put your name on the end of your text. That'll get them read sooner rather than later. Or over on YouTube. If you're watching at youtube.com/DenverSports, click the Dover and Cecil stream. You're in the show like that. Then get and participate in Tribe Chat. Thanks to our friends over at Champ Honda. Tell us who you are, where you are, what you're doing for a buck. It's a Don't Be That Guy Wednesday. You have any of those, you can share those as well. We want to get into a conversation about the Denver Nuggets and what they didn't do last night. They didn't make a pick. They traded with the San Antonio Spurs, who have the 35th pick in round 2 that is tonight. They're also going to get 2 more future second-round picks. And I get it. If you're just watching at home and you think, hey, they got a draft pick here, going to get somebody at the end of the bench to develop, and maybe at some point sooner rather than later they're a contributor to this team. That's what you were looking for. Well, you might feel a little disappointed. But, Jake, you and I are actually on the same page with this conversation. I'm not upset at all that they didn't make the pick. The guys that we liked and talked about them picking were off the board a lot sooner than we thought they would be. The guard that we talked about that you liked from Alabama was there at 22. But you also gave a great case of how the Nuggets really couldn't get any of the picks from, what do we talk about, from like 16 to 22? You just couldn't get in that range.
There was an option to get in at like 7 or 8 if you really wanted to, and that would have been like Jamal Murray, which to my mind, Zach By was talking about it yesterday. Zach was out of his mind. That would have been crazy. And the other option was to get in where the Bulls were at like 15 or 16.
15, yeah.
And that would have been Cam Johnson plus a hope and a prayer. And obviously it just didn't materialize for the Nuggets. And then the best option besides that was to hope that the best person that you wanted would fall to you, and they didn't. And it made sense to get out of the pick because there was no prospect left on the board by the time the Denver Nuggets were picking that I loved, that I think they loved. So at that point, you might as well spin the asset forward, as even bad on paper as it sounds, trading 1 first-round pick for 3 second-rounders. In reality, you move back 9 spots in the draft and pick up 2 future assets. And as useless as second-rounders are historically in terms of if you actually draft them, if you trade them, they help grease the wheels. I mean, think about it. If the Nuggets had cap space, which they very much do not and are very far from having cap space, they could use those 2 second-round picks to turn around and trade for a guy like Aaron Wiggins. Don't believe me? The Atlanta Hawks just did that with the Oklahoma City Thunder. So those second-round picks could be valuable to the Nuggets in the future for deals, whether it be at this coming trade deadline, whether it's next summer, and whether or not the Nuggets pick tonight at 35 and 49, or they pick once or move off of one of them. It made more sense financially for them to not pick at 26 and instead in the second round with guys making rookie minimum contracts, which are less money than the rookie scale contracts that come in the first round.
Yeah, they put themselves, and I tried to use the car analogy a little earlier, like they were stuck and they couldn't do anything. They're so tied with what they can and cannot do because of aprons and rosters and all the things. They're just giving themselves a position to get unstuck, to get back into a position to be a player in buyout markets and getting players to come play alongside Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray if Jamal Murray remains a Denver Nugget. So even tonight at 35 and 49. Oh, and by the way, like I said, the names that we talked, your dude Morez Johnson, we thought maybe at 15, 16, he got picked at, 9?
He went 9th.
9th to, well, his old coach picked him there at Dallas.
Which, by the way, if you're the coach, you're Dusty May, and you got that job a couple days ago, and you've got 3 players that go in the first round, Morez Johnson, Ade Mara, and Yaxel Lenneberg. Morez Johnson was projected to be the last of those 3 guys. Morez Johnson went first. Do you think those other 2 guys are like, hey, what the heck, coach? Or do you think they're like, hey, what the heck, coach? And Dusty May's like, I just got here a couple days ago, man. Like, it wasn't my decision. Like, of course they asked me if I like Morez, but like, I wasn't going to say no. Of course I like Morez. Like, do you think if you're the coach in that situation, Dusty May, like you explain it to your players like that? Or is it like Dusty May made this pick because Morez Johnson is his guy and like, those 2 guys don't play for me anymore. We're in the NBA now.
Like it's all fair in love and war, basically. I would think it's the former. I would think it's he just got hired this week, right?
And Dallas had him targeted.
And it's like we already have a draft board. We already have this guy, and then this guy on our target list. Like I would assume it's more of that. And then you hire Dusty, and they just happen to go, hey, look at the name on the top of our draft board.
Dusty, you like him?
You down with
you
that?
Sure? You sure? Yeah. He won you a national championship, right? You know?
Yeah.
So, and I think the other thing to remember with the Nuggets in this situation is they don't exist in a vacuum. As easy as it is to say is Cam Johnson plus 26 move up, you have to find a partner to dance with, and there really wasn't anyone else on the board. And, you know, there were a couple names that I liked that went in the 22 range with like Phylon and Carr at 24, but those packages really weren't available to the Nuggets. And even with Dalen Swain, who was at that Bulls pick and who I liked and talked about might be available to you at 26, he went at 15, and the Bulls must have liked him more than the package of 26 at the Nuggets with Cam Johnson. Mm-hmm. So there just really wasn't an option. But I think it is worth looking at the rest of the picture, and it's not just Darren Peterson with the Jazz, which is going to have a massive impact. And, oh, by the way, the Jazz might be a playoff team next year, and that might sound ludicrous because they had the second pick in the draft. But you know the second pick in the draft last year? The Spurs.
Yeah.
They just went to the NBA Finals.
And Utah went out of their way to lose some games this year.
Right, twice to the Nuggets at the end of the season. They should have won both those games. And then I look at the rest of the West. All of the good bigs went west. Mo Johnson, Yaxel Lendenberg, Ade Mara. All these guys went west. And by the way, Lendenberg's a perfect fit for the Warriors. It's a guy they've needed for 3 years. Mara's a guy that lets them replace Hartenstein with someone that's younger. Oh, and by the way, Mara's 7'3". He might be the best option at stopping Wemby in the entire league. Does
he think that means they're out on Hartenstein now? I guess how do they even afford it?
They could if they go deeper into the second apron, and he has a team option, so they could pick up the team option, say we have one more year of Hartenstein because this is a kid. We're going to keep both of them this year. The thought was they were going to deny the team option on Hartenstein and maybe sign him to like a 2-year deal for less money by year, but more overall. I think that they'll probably pick up the team option on Hartenstein, and then they'll let him walk after the year because they'll let Mara develop. But they've also got Nikola Topic and Thomas Sorber, who people you probably don't know, but you didn't know A.J. Mitchell this time last year, and A.J. Mitchell was really important for them in the playoffs. That team's deep. So, again, as I mentioned this, the reason why I talk about this is because it doesn't all happen in a vacuum for the Denver Nuggets, and a lot of these teams in the West got better yesterday, and they're going to get better this offseason. And on top of that, they won't have the incentive to tank next year because they won't have the reward at the top, which was the top 4 in this year's draft. Cameron Boozer at Memphis, that was a perfect pick for Memphis. Me and you talked about before the show. We liked what Memphis did.
I think Memphis was really good last night.
Josh, my first thought after the draft yesterday, and again, I was pounding the table going, the Nuggets need to trade down. And I think they did the right thing. My first thought was, it's going to be hard for the Nuggets to be in the top 6 next year of the West. They might be a play-in team.
Well, it's as all of these teams do what you're kind of alluding to, even Oklahoma City. It was, hey, you got to build depth, point of attack defenders. That's how you beat Oklahoma City. Now you go, well, we need multiple big bodies to try to defend Wemby so that they can get in foul trouble, and we still have options to throw at it. Now everybody's countering to do that. So everybody has room to operate to get better, to stop Wemby, to stop the Oklahoma City Thunder. And the Nuggets just have to sit on their hands and can't do anything because of the roster. That's why it's okay with what they did last night because, like I said, they're putting themselves to be unstuck with what they are right now. They didn't get any better last night, but what they can do with the pieces they got last night can get them better at some point.
They didn't stick themselves more into the situation they are already stuck in.
You could have kept digging your hole.
Right, and that's how Giannis got traded to Miami earlier this week, by the way.
That's exactly right.
So they did the right thing last night, as frustrating as it is. But I look at what these other teams did and where they're sitting in the West, and I look at Portland as a team that could rise to being a playoff team next year with Mike Nori as their coach, Damian Lillard coming back, some of the things they've done this offseason. Again, this is before free agency and trades really start to open up. The Lakers, they just signed Austin Reeves to a $185 million deal today. What will happen with LeBron? That's a question. Phoenix was a playoff team. Do they take a step back? Utah's going to take a massive step forward. Will Memphis, with a bunch of their young players, take a step forward, now led by Boozer, who you can pencil in for 20 and 10? Like, that's easy
as a rookie
to do. Yeah, you can pencil him in for 20 and 10. So I look at some of these things, and I just wonder, Josh, I really just wonder, like, where are the Nuggets going to fall in terms of where their talent is when we look at this roster and it's literally 4 fewer rotation players than last year, and you're looking at Utah and they've got, I know they won like 20 games last year, but it's Lauri Markkanen, it's Jaren Jackson, it's Darren Peterson.
Oh, Jaren Jackson, I forgot they got late too.
It's Walker Kessler, and it's Keyshawn George. Like that's a better starting 5 than the Denver Nuggets. It really is. As crazy as that is to say. And they have a better coach. A much better coach.
A lot better coach. And we know how difficult it is for any team, and even the Nuggets, to go there and win in Salt Lake City. With the second-round picks that they got, and now they have a little bit more room to get unstuck. It's the word I'm going to keep using. If I were to say, all right, Jake, they're going to get rid of Zeke Nazi's salary, help them with finances, and then the ability to re-sign Payton Watson. Yes, they have that ability, but they don't want to do it in the rate that they have to do it right now. Use a couple of second-round picks to move Zeke. Could you use your remaining picks to, not only are you moving Cam for his contract, but if you're attaching a pick or two, are you actually going to get a serviceable player back? Or the only options we're talking about with moving Cam is just salary dump? Is that it? It's the only thing they can do?
No. There are options out there that are reasonable players. You know, I've been banging the drum for this guy for a while, and you know, maybe at this point the value of him might be higher than Cam Johnson, but 28-year-old Najee Marshall, who scored 15 points per game for Dallas last year, he's a guy who only makes $9 million a year, and he's signed up for another 2 years. So maybe Dallas doesn't want to pay that guy $9 million a year for 2 years when in reality he is still a valuable NBA player. But this is a Dallas team that yesterday drafted a very similar player in Mo Johnson, and they're trying to get younger. So maybe they want Cam Johnson and an asset to spin forward for the Cooper Flagg era rather than having Najee Marshall, who was constructed in the Luka Doncic era. Like, there are guys like that are out there, Josh. I don't know that any of them are like super calling to the general, you know, sports fan out there, but let me tell you, I'd be happy as heck if Najee Marshall was here in a Denver Nuggets uniform for either Peyton Watson or Cam Johnson. Like, he would be a decent replacement for either player. I don't think he's like, I would rather have Peyton Watson, but if you're telling me, look, you can't have both of them, here's Najee Marshall and one of them, I'd be fine with it.
Yeah, I think that's all right. And I think you and I kind of live in the same lane when it comes to Peyton Watson. I'm all for Peyton returning to the Denver Nuggets. I am absolutely terrified that we get a Christian Brown 2.0. Pay the guy, and then you go, oh, that was a flash in the pan. Oh, he can't do that for an 82-game regular season when defenses are game planning for him. That's my biggest fear. I'm going to hold out hope and be optimistic that Peyton's not that, but if you're not thinking about that, I think you should revisit how you're viewing what Peyton Watson can be, and you don't have to look much further than what Christian Brown was not this year, and the contract's just now about to start. I don't want to be in that position with two different players, and worst case scenario, Aaron's back on the team, Christian remains on the team, and they re-up with Peyton Watson. I have 3 players getting paid major bucks. 1, I can't trust their body, and 2, I'm not sure if I can trust their games.
Give me the percentage. If you give Peyton Watson, let's say $22.5 million, which I think is a fair projection, but maybe even a little team friendly. Let's say I'm telling you it's $22.5 million, 4 years, $22.5 million for Peyton Watson. What's the percentage chance that that's a bad contract?
I mean, I think it's 50%.
Tells you a lot, doesn't it?
Am I wrong on my number?
And that might be a team-friendly deal. No, you're not. He's scored 30 points per game 4 times in his career.
Yeah.
He is, and this is the thing that's going to shock you, Josh. I might have given you this number in the past, and I want to reiterate it. Do you know how many minutes Peyton Watson's played in the playoffs in his career?
No.
Do you know how many minutes Nikola Jokic has played in the playoffs since Peyton Watson was drafted? Do you want to take a guess at it? So this is the championship year on. How many minutes Nikola Jokic has played in the playoffs?
So the championship year included?
Yeah, championship year on.
The 16 games that year? I mean, are we flirting with thousands?
2,000.
Yeah.
Which is basically an entire season. Literally, Nikola Jokic played 2,200 minutes last year. So it's an entire
extra
season.
82 games.
He played an extra 82 games basically worth of minutes just over the last 4 playoffs, which makes sense because over the last 4 playoffs, he's played 52 games. He's playing a little bit more minutes because it's the playoffs. Okay. So 2,000 minutes for Nikola Jokic over the last 4 years. Peyton Watson, last 4 years in the playoffs, 303 minutes.
I was going to say under 500. Damn.
So you're going to give $22.5 million a year to a guy who has played 300 minutes in the playoffs, has had no impact in the playoffs so far. And on top of that, the lineup of Peyton, Christian, Nikola, Aaron, Jamal, who has been here in Denver since the championship year. And you'd go, oh, those guys must have played a lot. They have a lot of chemistry. You know how many minutes those 5 guys have played together? Under 40.
Because of injuries?
Because why would you have been playing Peyton Watson at the exact same time as Nikola Jokic?
Yeah.
They just haven't been Peyton Watson's been a backup. Nikola Jokic was a starter. He was behind Michael Porter. He was behind Cam Johnson. He was in front of, and then Aaron Gordon got hurt. When he finally ascended, then Christian Brown was hurt. So yeah, partially injuries this year, but not all injuries, partially because they were at different points in their career. So you're going to
I'm even more hesitant.
So you're going to commit another $20 million when you're already committed $200 million to 5 guys you literally have never seen play together, and one of them has no playoff experience.
That's scary as hell. Terrifying. And if it goes the wrong way, we're right back to being stuck on the beach again.
But you have second rounders now.
Yeah,
It's going to take more to move second rounders on a $20 million salary. Second rounders for Zeke at 7, that's one thing.
Does the Reeves deal put LA behind the 8 ball to go get Payton? Or are they still a player in that conversation?
It decreased the odds that they would be able to pay Payton because the Reeves deal, I believe, was the full max at $185 for 4.
I believe it was.
Which is $46 million a year for Austin Reeves.
Austin Reeves. Damn. Again, teach your kids to shoot and dribble.
And be 7 foot tall.
Well, I mean, Austin Reeves isn't quite that, but yeah, that's all right. So you can maybe take the Lakers off of that list, but the Nets, Bulls, they still have a bunch of money to spend and are interested in PWAT. All right, we'll get back to a Nuggets conversation. I did want to get into a few Broncos defensive questions, and before we do that, a reminder that this Saturday is our 3rd annual Be a Mentor, Be a Fan Youth Football Camp presented by Walmart, and today is the last day you have to sign up. It's happening Saturday, June 27th at Denver South High School's All-City Stadium. If you've got kids between the ages of 8 and 14 that want to get some hands-on coaching from former Bronco players like Mark Schlereth, Philip Lindsay, Brandon Stokely, as well as a staff of coaches from Denver South, all proceeds are going to benefit Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Colorado. We love that organization. So for more information and to register on the last day that you can, head to DenverSports.com/camp. That is DenverSports.com/camp. All right, Jake, I want to talk a little bit about these defensive questions for the Denver Broncos. We talked about JK's body and the tight end group doing anything as our offensive questions. On the defensive side, you brought this up a little bit yesterday. Will they hit the wall for the 3rd year in a row? How do you avoid that? They certainly have to do that. Are they better than 14 takeaways? We talked about that as well. And are you willing to give up sacks for takeaways is another conversation. So that is the questions that surround this defense. That's the questions surrounding this defense. I think some of the bigger ones are takeaways. I also think making up the 7.5 sacks for John Franklin Myers is a major factor. We touched on that a little bit. Coop had 8 himself. That's a big question. If we're talking about 15.5 sacks. What if Cooper can't play? JFM 7.5, Coop with 8. That's 15.5 sacks, Jake, that they would have to make up if Jonathan Cooper can't go. Dondre Tillman, Jonah Ellis. Am I missing a name? Those will be your backup, pass rushers. I like Dondre Tillman. I think he's a great story coming from the UFL. I think Jonah Ellis can be a stud at the NFL level. I'm not sure either of those dudes are stepping up to figure out 7.5 or 8 sacks from one of those players.
Yeah, I think this is legitimately my primary concern with the Broncos defense is they have made so much of their chaos off of the fact that they've put so much pressure on the quarterback. And with the John Franklin Myers absence and him leaving, that leaves a big hole on the line. And now the Jonathan Cooper situation, which looks like it could be resolved very poorly in terms of playing for the Denver Broncos next year. I mean, at the very least, he'll probably be suspended for a couple games.
Minimum a couple games.
Minimum, and that's if he's on the team. And there's a whole argument that he shouldn't be on the team. Look, let's not go down that route right now. But point being is you're losing 2 significant pieces off of the strongest part of your defense. And now it's going to put a lot more pressure on guys like Riley Moss and Jahdae Barron who are unproven. So that scares me quite a bit, Josh. So let alone hitting a second half wall, I don't know that this defense is going to start out at the level of eliteness that it's been the last couple of years.
Man, the number, I didn't realize you combined Cooper and what JFM had to get to 15.5, although Cooper only had a half a sack in the final 7 games. That's basically like Thanksgiving. So from Thanksgiving to the end of the season, Jonathan Cooper only had a half a sack, but the 6.5 leading up to that point were obvious, or excuse me, the 7.5 leading up to that point were pretty significant in that short timeline. So that's a major question. I did not realize that was 15.5 with all of that combined. The other question is Riley Moss that I think we talked about yesterday. If Riley Moss continues to get picked on at the rate that he gets picked on, and he was a polarizing player, you either thought he was good enough or wanted a little bit better last year. And I was probably on the latter of that, wanted a little bit better. We'll be watching Riley play football for the Broncos for the last time. If he's still doing that stupid incomplete thing, I might be okay with that. I hate that more than anything. Not even that. That's
well, no, that's cool. But like when he does
when he
it.
gets up and does that, oh, it drives me crazy. I used to hate it when Chris Harris Jr. did it. Don't celebrate accomplishing your job. You're paid to force incompletions. You did it. Run back to the line of scrimmage and do it again.
You should hold up like a microphone when you walk out of the office every day. Just like,
bring this with me.
I did it. I did what I did.
I get paid for this. That's it. That's what he's doing.
Yeah. I don't know. What, like, can you come up with a doper celebration for a DB?
How about don't celebrate unless you get like a pick six?
The money?
I mean, the money's okay.
The money's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pick six, Deion dance. You're
that
cool
would
with
be
that?
fun.
Okay.
Just because it's a cool dance. The nation would understand. We feel differently about Deion locally, but the nation would get it.
I mean, it was pretty dope in Jerry Maguire when he hit him with the Deion dance after he got up, when he's on the field.
He's knocked out,
pay me the money, and then he comes back and he does the Deion dance and celebrating.
Rod Tidwell.
That's a good name right there.
I got ants, Jerry. Remember the ants were crawling up?
I gotta get paid, Jerry. That movie's so good.
It's an all-time great movie.
I want to see more out of Jahdae Barron. I want to see Brandon Jones just absolutely show out this year.
Brandon Jones is an interesting. He's also on an expiring contract.
He could have a monster year. He really could.
Him and Riley Moss are on expiring contracts.
Do you think that motivates them in some way, like in a positive way for the Broncos? Is that like a good thing for the Broncos?
I think it is, because we're so stuck in the tradition of the what's the term? Lame duck. You're on that last year. I think everybody should have to finish out their year. Unless, all right, if you're on the last year and you go win a Super Bowl, we're going to reward you with a contract extension. But outside of that, you should let everybody's contract play out and then get to the negotiating table and have a conversation.
Yeah, I think when you're in a situation maybe like Pat Surtain, it's a little bit different, but you literally won Defensive Player of the Year. So that
there's outliers.
There's outliers. I mean, you're talking to a guy who was very upset that the Nuggets paid Christian Brown last summer, and it wasn't even the deal. Like, I honestly don't even think that deal's that bad. I really don't.
Yeah, you said it yesterday. As far as basketball money goes, it's not ridiculous.
No, it's more so that in the context of being a restricted free agent, who were you bidding against this summer? And that's why Peyton Watson's deal might come down as far as to like maybe $19 million. Like, because you're not bidding against anyone and no one has cap space in the NBA. But letting a guy's deal come to the last year, I think the benefit when you're in a situation like Riley Moss and you've been questioned your entire career, I think that can be pretty motivating. And even if the Broncos long-term lose a guy who was impactful for them this year, let's say Riley Moss has a good year, it's all about this year with the Denver Broncos to me. It really is, because Bo Nix is going to start to get expensive. The window to me with the Denver Broncos is really this year and next year, and maximizing their ability with Bo Nix in his window. And oh, by the way, Bo Nix, when he gets this contract, not only is it going to become harder, but he's also going to be playing in his 30s under that next deal because he's drafted as an older player. So peak Bo Nix might come this year or next year, even though that sounds weird for a third or a fourth year quarterback. So I think it's all about maximizing this window. So if they can motivate Riley Moss by holding the contract over him, or let's say a Marvin Mims or even a Brandon Jones, I think that's all positive. And that's some of the bigger questions on the team to me, are those guys with those looming questions. All the guys we're certain about, the Broncos have already taken care of.
Yeah, they have the core pieces already locked up. And then you can extend Bo at the end of this year, depending on what happens. I'd put that same rule in place even for Bo Nix, who I really like. If you don't go win the Super Bowl this year, let's not talk about the conversation of what the contract is. Do that the following year.
Maybe with your quarterback, I'd get a little antsy.
Just because you don't want the free agent market to come.
But with Courtland Sutton, I thought it was crazy.
Yeah.
Who are you bidding against?
Nobody's going to come and get him. Even with Bo, I think there's some, there's wishful thinking on my part, but like loyalty stuff where he's going to give the Broncos the opportunity.
Maybe it's just because I'm sitting in this seat, so I have to talk about fantasy football for a second. But like, I overbid for Courtland in Dynasty last year because I was just like, yeah, he's awesome. And then I realized, I'm like, who was going to trade for Courtland Sutton after I made the deal? I was like, why did I do this? And he was good. Like, I liked him on my team, but I was just like, why did I do this?
All right, we'll get back to some of that conversation. I do want to get into a conversation about the Nuggets and the Avs. The Avs don't have a lot of room to make major roster changes because of contracts coming back. The Nuggets, for now, are tied down financially. So, who do we believe in more come this fall? Who will be built for success in 26-27? That's coming up next.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play.
Does Denver's two MVP superstars need to win at least one more championship each in order to cement their legacies as all-time greats in their sport?
But if you are talking about legacies and you're talking about all-time greatness and you're talking about the idea of your players or your teams being remembered 20, 30, 40 years from now, and you really do care about legacy, then yes, Jokic has to win another championship. McKinnon has to win another Stanley Cup.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
You've heard the story. 5 years ago, I lost 60 pounds with soda diet nutrition, and I'm never going back. Haven't gained the weight back. Why? Because soda taught me how to eat, what to eat, and when to eat. Online, sodadietnutrition.com, or you can call them up, 866-800-SODA. And I got to tell you, losing 60 pounds, one, I get my confidence back, I get my swagger back, I look and feel 10 years younger, and I'm just moving better, man. The benefits of my weight loss have been innumerable. It's fantastic to live through this and to be this size and to be this fit as I am now, all thanks to soda. The dynamic diet, because, listen, every person has different food sensitivities, responses, lifestyles, habits, behaviors. A one-size-fit-all approach does not work. The dynamic diet from soda, custom made for you with your own nutritionist that can help you along the way with encouragement, answer your questions, stuff like that. That keeps you on track, on plan, and it keeps the weight coming off. So check them out online, sodadietnutrition.com or 866-800-SODA, because soda is, everyone say it with me, state of the art.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer helps you easily find and buy the right coverage for you. It's everything you've always wanted. Well, I mean, as far as a website that lets you shop, quote, and buy insurance in one place. But hey, maybe that is everything you've always wanted. Yeah, people have different types of dreams. And if all you've ever been searching for is a website that helps you choose home insurance rates and coverage, boy, do we have great news about Progressive's Home Quote Explorer. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
Meet Lee Platz, a renter whose possessions fill not only her apartment, but also the darkest corners of a mini storage unit. A land of both truth and fiction. Truth, everything inside is protected by Progressive. Fiction, one day Lee will fit into her clothes from senior year of high school. Renters, discover coverage for what you love and what you can't get rid of in Progressive's Protection Zone. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
Hi there, I'm Kim Rudell, owner of Wills and Wellness Estate Planning. If you've been putting off doing your estate plan, it's time to stop pushing your luck. It's never too late to get your estate plan in place. No more excuses. Our team makes the process and experience positive, straightforward, and even fun. Come see us and let us help you make a plan to secure your future and the future of your loved ones. Find us at willsandwellness.com or give us a call at 720-266-8190.
Water is essential to life.
Humans are 60% water.
Water carved the Grand Canyon and it pummels boulders into sand.
But a little water leak in your roof can cause mold and deterioration of your home.
Let Denver Roof Pros stay on top of your roof with our preventative roof service plans to prolong your roof's life and protect your home and the people you love.
Check it out at DenverRoofPros.com.
No matter if it hails, rains, or snows, nobody knows your roof like the Denver Roof Pros. Hey!
Summer has officially arrived. What's up, guys? It's Zach here. 5280 Exteriors wants to help you get your home ready before the seasons change. All June long, when you purchase a whole house of siding, you'll get free gutter guards, a limited time offer designed to protect your home and your wallet. Don't wait, guys. Book your project now and enjoy stunning new siding before fall weather rolls in. Visit 5280exteriors.com to schedule your free estimate. 5280 Exteriors, the altitude of quality.
Colorado, it's time to take our recycling to the next level. That's why Recycle-On Colorado is bringing you more curbside and drop-off service from peaks to prairies. Guidelines as clear as our skies, so you know what goes where. And the price? As free as gawking at bighorns on I-70. You deserve a recycling system you can count on, like your puffiest winter coat. And we're here to give it to you. Learn more at recycleon.org/Colorado.
This segment on The Fan is built by Denver Deck Builders.
This July 4th, join America 250 at America's Block Party at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, hosted by Queen Latifah and featuring Chris Stapleton and the Smashing Pumpkins. Get your tickets at america250.org/LA.
Listen up, Denver. This hour's keyword is marking. M-A-R-K-I-N-G. Text marking to 303-713-1043 right now for your chance to win a $250 gas card. That's marking to 303-713-1043.
By texting, you agree to receive an automated marketing message from Denver Sports 1043 The Fan. Message and data rates may apply. For complete rules or to enter the keyword online, visit www.denversports.com/keyword.
You're listening to Dover and Cecil on Denver Sports 1043 The Fan.
All right, let's have a conversation about Nugs, Avs, rosters, who we're trusting, leaning in towards more for the upcoming season this fall. If you've got a favorite or a reason why, tell us at 303-713-1043, RamosLaw.com text line. Put your name on the end of all your texts so we can give you a little love. And a shout out here on the show with my man Jake Shapiro. Same deal at youtube.com/DenverSports. Get over there on the Tribe Chat, fueled by Sean Ponda. Tell us how you're feeling about our conversations. If you have a Don't Be That Guy or gal, you can hit us up there. Or I'm going to ask again for you HVAC folks. My air conditioning unit caught on fire last night. Blew up and caught on fire. And I'm being told that it's a possibility of a full-on replacement. I'm being told that's about $3,000 to $6,000. Am I on the right money there? Is there anything else I can do to help me out? Tribe, help Tribe. If you can, let me know what I'm looking at.
It really puts into perspective, by the way. Remember when Jokic and Randall had that thing in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Do you remember how much Jokic was fined for that?
No.
$50K.
Oh, my gosh.
Doesn't that put it in perspective?
I'm about to my whole summer's over if I have to spend the $6K. Literally, I can't do anything the rest of the summer. It's over.
Yeah. I know Jokic just got like more salary than you, but like it still like puts it in perspective. Those fines are hefty, man.
That's it. You go home from work. I lost $50K. Okay, well, tough day at the office. All right, I want to ask you this Avs question and reset some of that conversation. Another reminder to talk about things that are expensive. Gas is absolutely ridiculous. That's why we want to help you out. If you're thinking about a road trip, how about some free gas? You're going to have a chance to win a weekly $250 gas card and a possible grand prize of $1,000. That's what our keyword contest is all about. All you have to do is listen. You're doing it right now. Listen for keywords. We're giving them out every hour. When you hear it, text it to 303-713-1043. You have until the hour ends to text that word, so take some time spelling it properly. It's not a race. Just send it in spelled right, and you'll be in the running. You can send in as many keywords as you'd like until you get your chance to win. For complete rules, check out the website, DenverSports.com/keyword. That is DenverSports.com/keyword. All right, Jake, the Nuggets and the Avs. The NHL draft's going to happen this weekend, and the Avs don't have a first or a second-round pick, so they're not going to pick anybody that's a major player for this year's roster. We know that the Denver Nuggets didn't make a first-round pick. They're on the clock tonight at 35 and 49. Maybe they make one pick. Maybe they make none. We'll see what that brings, and the things they do tonight can free up some money, some roster spots, so more TBD on the Nuggets side than it is the Avs. I mean, I feel pretty confident we know what the top six is going to look like. We kind of know what the pairings are going to look like for the Avalanche. We kind of know what this team will return to form. So with that in mind, we both want Jamal Murray to stay and know Nikola Jokic is staying. So if we went like Avs core versus what Jamal and Joker are, who do you feel better about in the fall?
The Avs. It's a clear answer because they were the best team in the NHL. They won 2 playoff series. Even with the flameout, that's 6 more wins in the playoffs than the Nuggets had, and they were they were much easier wins than the Nuggets had. So I feel so much better about the Avs. And, I mean, just listen to the postseason press conferences, which obviously were very sad for both teams. But the Nuggets one was anything's on the table besides getting rid of Joker. The Avs, it's like, we know what we are, but we got to do some stuff here and there. We're a good team. And they're right. And you know what? As easy as it is to sit there and go, they need to do reforming and panic and stuff like that. Look, I'm with you. They probably needed to get rid of Bednar, but it's not going to kill them. Bednar's won a cup. Bednar, to some extent, is a competent NHL coach, even if I disagree with them keeping him this time around. The roster is good enough to be a very good NHL team. We know that for a fact. The Nuggets, we know literally nothing about their coach's ability when it comes time to the big spots.
Yeah.
Just, we don't know.
We know that he can't.
Well,
or hasn't.
He did the first year. Won a Game 7.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know where it's going to go. It could go either way, and it was brutal. Whatever happened against Minnesota is much worse for David Adelman than the positive of beating the Clippers and taking the Thunder to 7 last year.
Yeah, he got the Game 7 win, but he was also 500 in those playoff games, and they just gave him the job.
Right. So, I sit here going, the Nuggets, they could go any direction this summer. I have no idea where they're going to go. I have so many big questions about the Nuggets. The Avs, I pretty much know what they're going to do. Let me throw out this question for you, because it's honestly one that I've thought of for a couple weeks now, and I don't understand why no one's talking about this. Why isn't Scott Wedgwood on the trade block? Like, why are we not trading Scott Wedgwood this summer?
Just get rid of him entirely?
Yeah.
Why? It's a pretty big key to the team this last year.
They have a goalie. They paid their goalie that there's the goalie of the future, Mackenzie Blackwood. They have their guy. And they went to him in the playoffs, and then it turned out that Mackenzie Blackwood is their guy.
I mean, I guess it would have. I said that Bednar was overcoaching the goalie situation. It would take that part out of it.
It would take that part out of it. In addition, Scott Wedgwood is in a contract year, and he just led the league in save percentage and goals against. I believe both of those statistics.
You're right.
Is this not the highest value you could possibly get on a career backup goalie who's like 30 years old? And you're looking for ways to improve and you don't have any draft picks? How about stapling Scott Wedgwood and Val Nichushkin together? Like, does that not get you something really good back? Like, somebody needs a goalie out there, and Scott Wedgwood just showed you he could be a goalie in the NHL that makes a difference. Mm-hmm. And I know it's really hard to sit here going after the goaltending tandem proved to be so good throughout the regular season, oh, they should get rid of Scott Wedgwood. I don't think they're going to re-sign him, so you might as well get something for him. They just traded for a goalie. It was one of the first moves Joe Sakic made as GM again. And they've got some goalies in their pipeline that are somewhat interesting. I just don't think having two goalies sitting there is the best course of action for the Avs. I think it creates more problems than it solves at this point, quite honestly. And that's coming off of a Jennings year when they literally were proven to have the best goaltending tandem in the league. Mm-hmm. I think that a clear option would be trading a guy who we know is good in Scott Wedgwood, and the league knows is good in Scott Wedgwood, who might not play. He might be sitting on the bench during a playoff game, literally was sitting on the bench for a playoff game that you lost and it ended your season, for somebody that might actually be out there on the ice when it matters most.
I honestly had not considered that. I think it's a very interesting conversation, but my brain immediately goes to the last time they won a Stanley Cup, and they were forced, not overcoached, or not overthinking, forced to use two goaltenders because of an eye injury, because of a stick poke. And what position would this team be in if it's not a backup goaltender, the quality and caliber of Scott Wedgwood, and something, I'll knock on wood and I'll cross my fingers, hockey guy, if something were to happen to McKenzie.
Frankie was nowhere near as good as Scott Wedgwood is.
Agreed.
You don't need Scott Wedgwood on your bench.
So
it's
you
a
just
luxury.
Need
a solid backup.
Okay.
And I think maybe one of those Avs younger goalies developed.
Fire. It feels like you're playing with fire.
Of course you're playing with fire, especially coming off a couple years where you're like, they don't have a goalie. They don't have a goalie. And this is the first year where you felt like, oh, maybe they have two goalies.
They got two, yeah.
We went to the playoffs. Turns out they didn't have a goalie.
That worries the hell out of me. I was also the Wedgwood guy, so like that was the dude that I was leaning on for the Colorado Avalanche, as was Jared Bednar, until he obviously wasn't. I haven't heard anybody say that, so I like that take, but it makes me nervous as hell.
Keep Blackwood, call up Trent, let him be your backup goalie.
Trent's no good.
We don't know that for sure yet.
I've watched him play.
The Eagles made a deep playoff run. Deep.
Yeah, they were in the Western Conference Final. Lost Game 7, if I remember correctly.
So, if you are looking with limited assets to go out and get a top 4 defenseman, which is both on our top of our list, and I think it needs to be a left-handed shot to pair with Cale Makar, maybe be the future partner for Cale Makar once Devontae, you move him to the second line. Doesn't have to be next year, but it's a guy that you feel good about. There are a bunch of teams in the NHL that could use a goalie like Scott Wedgwood. Maybe, everyone could use a guy like Valeri Nichushkin. That's a want, but there are teams that need a Scott Wedgwood. I would be in the business of looking at Scott Wedgwood as a trade chip for one of those top 4 defensemen if you're able to do it, especially considering you have nothing else to trade.
Yeah.
And Scott Wedgwood wasn't on the ice when your season was on the line.
You know what? Like I said, it's a unique take. I've not heard anybody say it, and there's some certain legs behind that makes some sense. But I would be so nervous. Every moment, every collision with Mackenzie Blackwood would make me get to the edge of my seat.
It took Carolina 2 goalies to win the Cup this year.
Yeah. A lot of people are going. That's what Jared Bednar kept saying. Like, everybody's using 2-goalie system. It's a tandem system.
Okay. Where was their backup who ended up winning the Cup? Where was their backup goalie at the start of last year?
Who? Scott Wedgwood?
No, Carolinas.
Oh, I don't know.
He was in the ECHL.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Bussy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bussy,
yeah. Because that was the big story of him.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You can find these guys.
All right. I'm nervous about that take, but I like it. I like that one, Jake. I want to ask you a question about the Colorado Rockies and where they could be at the end of June, coming up next.
Parents, looking for a fun way to get your kid active this summer?
Are you kidding me?
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan's third annual Be a Mentor, Be a Fan Youth Football Camp is back. Brought to you by Walmart. Saturday, June 27th at Denver South High School's All-City Stadium. Your child, ages 8 to 14, will learn the fundamentals of football in a safe, hands-on environment from people who played the game at the highest level. We're talking former Denver Broncos Mark Schlereth, Philip Lindsay, and Brandon Stokely, along with a trusted coaching staff from Denver South. And every dollar raised goes to Big Brothers Big Sisters of Colorado. So your family is giving back just by showing up. Sign up today at denversports.com/camp. That's denversports.com/camp.
Buy gold and put some silver in your pocket. I know what you're thinking. Everything's expensive right now. How am I going to buy gold? It's Ron Paul. Nowadays, a lot of things are out of your control. But there is something you can do right now to diversify your retirement, and it doesn't cost you anything out of pocket. My friends at Birch Gold Group will help you convert an IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, a time-tested hedge against inflation. Plus, in honor of America 250, Birch Gold is going to give you a special America 250 1-ounce silver round for every $10,000 you purchase by July 2nd. Text the word SECURE to the number 989898 to get a free info kit from Birch Gold and claim eligibility for this limited time offer. Again, text the word SECURE to 989898 today.
Performance matters in intimate moments. Don't let ED ruin them. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and I want to assure you that if you're like the vast majority of guys, you don't have to suffer with ED anymore. In fact, you might be pleasantly surprised at how the right treatments could positively impact your love life. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, our advanced medical therapies go far beyond pills. We have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases, and we offer specific and combinative treatments that can dramatically enhance both your performance and your stamina. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a far greater level of intimacy to both you and the one you love, perhaps performing like you haven't in years. So call us today and find out why our advanced treatment strategies offer so much more. Your first visit is just $99 and gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, advanced medical science to improve men's lives.
Your siding is calling.
It has something to say.
By the time siding looks bad on the outside, the real damage is already done underneath. And in Colorado, that happens faster than you think. That's why I trust Gravina's Window Center of Littleton. They start with what actually holds up long term. They have served Denver and the Front Range for over 50 years. And right now, get 20% off a James Hardy siding. Visit windowsforyourhome.com. That's windowsforyourhome.com.
Dan, I'm not looking to get rich, but I'm not sure what to do. It's something we hear a lot at 303 Law 4040 from people. They've been hurt. They just don't know what to do next. Should they talk to the insurance company? Who's going to pay their medical bills? What if they have to miss work? They don't want to call a lawyer, and they certainly don't want to sue anyone, but they just don't know what to do. Here, take one of our small town clients. He was seriously hurt on his neighbor's property. Tough as nails, salt of the earth guy, and all he was looking to do was the right thing. He said, Dan, I have to live in this town, and I want to be able to hold my head up high when when I walk down the street. So if you're talking about suing my neighbor, I'm not interested. I explained that we probably wouldn't have to sue anybody, and we certainly weren't going to hurt his neighbor. In the end, we got him $1.5 million, and he could still hold his head up high in that small town. If you've been hurt, you don't have to feel guilty for calling 303-LAW-4040. We are here to help and fight for what's fair. We don't farm you out to a call center. In fact, we give all of our clients our cell phone numbers. We hope you never need us, but save that number in your phone just in case. It's 303-LAW-4040. That's 303-LAW-4040.
Cheyenne Frontier Days. Born out of the American frontier, come salute our American heroes in the air, in the arena, and in the streets of Cheyenne this July. CFTRodeo.com. See you in Cheyenne.
Summer is here. Celebrate America's 250th birthday with fireworks July 3rd and 4th, plus first ever giveaways like the City Connect mystery jersey and hot dog hat in July. Get your tickets now at Rockies.com/tickets.
Want real Broncos talk? Cecil Lemmy and Andrew Mason bring the heat on Orange and Blue Today. The most passionate intelligence and in-depth Broncos coverage in the game. Weekdays at 5 p.m. on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan YouTube channel. Hit subscribe at Denver Sports 104.3 and never miss another take. Orange and Blue Today, powered by Ramos Law, official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. It's Dover and Cecil on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
All right, we're going to talk a little Rockies real quick. And a question I have for one Jake Shapiro about these Colorado Rockies and what they're doing in the month of June. If they could have just won last night, it would have been in this conversation so much better. They could have been at 10-10 in the month of June with a handful of games to go. They're currently at 9-11. They'll be wrapping up the series with the Red Sox coming up today, this afternoon. But, Jake, if they do get to 500, is there a reason to go, hey, I feel good about them being at 500? Because I will tell you, I feel that way. I feel good about what they were in, was it April when they were okay, flirted with 500. And if they can do it again in June, kind of what you said earlier about, hey, it's a couple of months of the 4-month season where you're not a complete laughingstock embarrassment in Major League Baseball. It doesn't mean anything about winning the division or being a playoff team as soon as next year. I keep with my 2028, 29 timeline of them actually being competitive and things mattering.
Push that out.
And I still, I might have to push that out a little bit more depending on what happens with some of these pitchers and developing any that might show up or just trusting the old dudes, which you clearly can't do. But Jake, so I kind of live just game by game with the Rockies of, were you fun? Were you entertaining? Do you give me a reason to even say your name on my sports talk radio show? Or do we just ignore it for that day? For the month of June, they've given us reason to talk about them. And that's, again, those are all the things I'm looking for. You're a baseball purist. I go to the ballpark to hang out with a lady, crush a dog, and maybe a brew or two and snap a photo for Instagram. So it's a little bit different, but would June make you change anything about the Rockies? Any of your feelings about the Rockies?
Absolutely not. What Cole Carrick is doing right now is making me feel a little bit better about him as a top 10 prospect in the Rockies organization, who do not have that many prospects. But to be completely straightforward with you, what's happening in Double-A in Hartford with Thomas and Herring and Riggio is far more important to the Rockies' future than whatever's happening at the major league level. The two most important things for the Rockies this summer were, what does Chase Dollander do in his improvement and development this year, and how does Ethan Holiday look in his first year of pro ball? Both of them are out for the year with season-ending injuries. It is a failure of a year based on those two things alone.
Are we sure it's just a year for Chase?
It'll probably be more because it's an arm surgery. It's the worst thing that could have happened to Chase Dollander this year. And you don't know if he's going to have the same stuff when he comes back, yada, yada, yada. And he is quite literally the only pitching prospect of consequence. In the Rockies' top 5 prospects, they don't have a single pitching prospect. And they don't even have a good system. Like, they are so far away from being competitive. It does not matter. And yeah, it will be fun if they're 500 in June. That's a great woo. We were 500 or better for a month for the first time since May of 2024. Woo! But you know what's going to happen in late July? Or what should happen? They should trade anyone of any consequence on their roster, and the bottom's absolutely going to fall out in August and September because they won't have any big leaguers on their roster.
So you're just trading for pitching prospects?
Literally any prospect, but pitching prospects, hopefully. Like, Josh, if they don't trade Mickey Moniak this summer, it's one of the biggest misses that they could possibly make.
They should have done it last summer.
They probably should have done it last summer, though he's having a really good year again. He got hurt, but he's having a good year, so you should be fine on that one. I mean, outside of trading basically Cole Carrig, like they should be trading essentially anybody of consequence. Antonio Senzatella should be gone.
He's got to go, yeah.
Like, and it's not that I don't like Antonio Senzatella. It's just anyone that's helpful to any other organization that might be interesting. Sagano, if someone's like, we need a starter. Heck, we've got the Cubs-Mets day game on right now in the studio. Cubs just lost another starter. They're down 7 starters right now. Damn. You don't think they could use it to Sagano's spot start right now? Could that cost them some arm in their system? Will that arm ever contribute to the Rockies? Probably not, but maybe. And right now, when you look at the Rockies system and they're so devoid of pitching prospects, any arms help. Just any arms you can get into the door help because they are so far behind on developing pitchers. I mean, think of it this way. When's the last time the Rockies developed a really good reliever? And Antonio Senzatella doesn't count because he's a starter. They just converted to relief pitching. But when's the last time the Rockies developed a really good reliever?
I mean, I don't have a name off the top of my head. I'm trying to go back now through every reliever that's been there. Do you have a name?
Yeah.
Who is it?
Scott Oberg.
Oh, all right. Yeah. How long did that last?
He was really good for 5-6 years.
Okay.
And then he had blood clots, so his career kind of got derailed by stuff out of his control.
It was 5 to 6 years?
He was good from like 2017 to about 21, maybe a little bit less than that. But, yeah, he was really good.
No, he was good. The timeline is like, it doesn't seem like he was that was impactful.
That was literally almost 15 years ago. Like that. I mean, it was more than 10 years ago now. Is when they had Scott Oberg in their system and coming up. And Adam Ottavino, they got very late into his minor league development, so you can kind of count that as a win if you want. There's a couple guys in their bullpen right now that are interesting. Jaden Hill, funny enough, is one. He went on the IL today. Seth Halverson came back. He is another reliever that's interesting. But I'm just looking for like any sort of small win. And to me, one of the facts of the Rocky situation, which is they just haven't been able to develop even relief pitching, that is such a stain against them. It's one thing to not develop a frontline starter. For them that they can't even develop relief pitching consistently or at all is such a stain. And their bullpen looks a little bit better this year. It's looked a little bit better the last 2 years. But there's not a single guy I can point to and go, okay, that's a guy that could be their closer of the future. They don't even have that guy.
Yeah, that's eluded them for a very, very long time.
Like, Zach Agnos is cool, I guess. The mustache is fun.
I mean, he's hot, cold, yes, no. He's a different dude every time he takes the mound.
Feltner's stuff is incredible, but he throws 8 balls for every 3 strikes he throws.
Yeah. I really wanted to get with Agnos, but like he's so inconsistent. You can't hang your hat on a guy like that.
Right. So it's just, I look at their system and what's coming for them, and I can't get excited about it. And I said earlier in the show about the expectation. I don't get why the Denver Broncos are held to the expectation in this city that they are. And I know they've won 3 championships, but they're held to that expectation, and they have been since they won, before they won in 97 and 98. They are held to an expectation by this fan base and by this city. The Colorado Rockies, there is zero expectation besides we're going to show up and we're going to drink at the ballpark. And that sucks because the Colorado Rockies should be somewhat competent at baseball, and they've never been.
Yeah. I don't really drink there. I do other stuff and eat hot dogs, so I'm somewhat of the problem.
Godzilla.
All
Godzilla
right. We'll get back to our Rockies conversation a little later for this series finale with the Red Sox today. Let's start hour number 4. We like to call it quarter number 4, revisiting that Nuggets conversation. Do you like what they did in round 1? Do we? Are they going to be a better team because of the move that they made last night? We'll answer that next.
Get your game on, go play.
Does Denver's two MVP superstars need to win at least one more championship each in order to cement their legacies as all-time greats in their sport?
But if you are talking about legacies and you're talking about all-time greatness and you're talking about the idea of your players or your teams being remembered 20, 30, 40 years from now, and you really do care about legacy, then yes, Jokic has to win another championship. McKinnon has to win another Stanley Cup.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Hey guys, did you know that 1 in 4 men over 40 have low testosterone? They have low energy, low sex drive, low motivation, and barely recognize themselves. But 100% of them can get it all back and feel like themselves again at Low T Center. Low T Center is the original TRT clinic, changing lives since 2009. Their expert providers work to tailor TRT plans to every man to get his levels back to where they need to be. They can help you get your energy, your focus, and sex drive back. They can even work with most major insurance providers. So head over to FixMyLowT.com and book your free testosterone test. FixMyLowT.com.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Schedule a free inspection with Groundworks, the foundation and waterproofing experts.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
I'm Rob Wilhite, and for nearly 50 years, my firm has been fighting for seriously injured car accident victims in Colorado. Serious accidents demand serious representation. We dig into every detail of your case, and we don't back down until we get you the maximum compensation you deserve. If you or someone you love has been seriously injured in a car accident, call the Wilhite Law Firm today at 303-GOOD-LAW or visit wilhitewins.com. That's 303-GOOD-LAW or visit wilhitewins.com.
Summer is a time to feel and look your best, but I'm not talking about your tan or abs. Guys, I'm talking about your hair. Restore that bald spot, reverse your receding hairline, or add volume to decades of thinning during Advanced Hair's once yearly summer savings event. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day, and it can even grow for life. Did I mention Advanced Hair even guarantees your new hair will grow? Take advantage of your flexible summer calendar and get the most hair for your dollar during Advanced Hair's best offer ever. The summer sales event is on for a limited time, so schedule your free consultation and get the details today. 720-459-HAIR. One-day treatment, life-changing results with Advanced Hair. Your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Check out the incredible before and afters and get your savings details while still available. That's 720-459-HAIR. or advancedhair.com.
This summer, all roads lead to Groove Toyota in Inglewood during our Summer on Us sales event at the oldest family-owned Toyota dealership in the Denver Metro. New Tacoma's only $349 a month lease. GrooveToyota.com. New Tacoma's only $349 a month lease and soon. Hurry into Inglewood to Groove Toyota before the best Tacomas are gone. Groove Toyota. Start here. Go anywhere.
Closed end lease for 36 months with $34.99 due at signing. Zero security deposit on approved credit. Call 720-961-4465 for complete details. Offer expires 6/30/26.
The hot weather is here. Stoke here from my team. ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Has another company told you that you need a new air conditioner? Time to throw in the challenge flag. Rocks Heating and Air offers no obligation, free second opinion. There are amazing financing options and incredible rebates too, only from the best. ROX Rocks Heating and Air. Now play that jingle.
HVAC service, installation, repair. ROX Rocks Heating and Air.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
and I'm just going to put you on the spot. I'm leaving pretty quickly after the show, so I'm going to go.
I've got 2 more shows to shoot today. Shapiro and Piro.
Right.
Yeah, we got our draft shows, our draft roundup of, hey, nothing happened.
Also, shout out to Alex for telling us. I forgot, we're watching the Cubs game in studio. You like the Cubs? I'm like, yeah, my guy wants to watch his team. We'll watch the team. Didn't connect the dots.
It's the Shapiro and Piro Bowl.
Yeah, I'm going to choke over rice. But it is the Shapiro and Piro Bowl. Your team versus his team. Is there any good smack talk going on or no?
Oh, I just keep sending him W flags. I'm like our whole.
I guess his team would have to win.
Our whole roster is hurt, and we're still beating you. Dansby Swanson, who's batting 180, just hit a 3-run home run for the Cubs. It's awesome. The Mets stink. He knows it too. Like, I don't even really have to say anything. Like, it's like I'm worried for my guy over there. Like, it's honestly bad. Speaking of baseball, I just in off of our last segment, I got to go into the YouTube chat where someone is very upset with your boy over here. Says this guy is a Rockies Debbie Downer. I got one thing for this person right here. The Boston Red Sox are currently the worst team in the American League. Their winning percentage this year is the worst the franchise has had since 1965.
Yeah.
Their winning percentage is still better than the Rockies, who are having their best season in their last 4.
Mm-hmm.
It is a joke that this is acceptable. And, oh, by the way, this morning in the Denver Post, our boy Sean Keeler wrote a story about how Dick Mumford is every bar in Denver's MVP because now he's charging to watch World Cup games at McGregor Square.
Oh, that was real?
Yeah. You have to pay to watch at McGregor Square.
It's $15.
Yeah.
The number I saw was $15.
Yeah.
What?
It's more expensive to watch a McGregor Square World Cup game than it is to go to a Rockies game. That's a real thing. It's $4 to get into a Rockies game, by the way.
$4?
Yeah, if you walk up to the rock pile. Real ones, no.
Yeah. It's $4, and if you get there early, you got the beer deal going on. There's some cheap ways to maneuver.
Yes, you can literally pay for 3 beers and a Rockies ticket for cheaper than watching a World Cup game at McGregor Square.
That's wild. I thought that was someone trolling and making fun of
Nope.
Dick. That's a real thing.
Yeah.
Holy cow. $15 to sit on the grass?
I mean, if you're lucky.
Well, yeah, if you get there 2 hours early.
I watched the Champions League final there 2 years ago, and I always have sunscreen because I know you got your problems with that. You always forget, but and you a lady helps you, but
yeah, she's on my ass about it.
For me, I'm not going anywhere without the sunscreen. The homeboys were burned by the 75th minute. I was good, but they were dying.
Tarps off, just dying out there.
They were dying.
All right, so I like the stat. It's a good stat. It's a, hey, back to reality kind of stat with the Colorado Rockies.
I don't know what you can be but a Debbie Downer about the Rockies. Like, what are we sitting here cheering? Woo, Jake McCarthy!
Yeah, dude.
McCarthy!
I am. That was fun. Inside the park home runs are cool.
Yeah, the 10-year-old I took to the game thought that was awesome, too.
That's how I approach baseball like a 10-year-old. That's what we're learning here today. I'm there for the moment. I only want the moment to be exciting. Anything else that happens after that, I'm going to ignore like ignorance is bliss. That's where I'm going with the Rockies.
And Dinger comes on with a 2-strike noise, and you're like...
Dude, you know what I've noticed this week? I don't know if he was told not to. He's not doing the 360 head spin. He's just sitting back in the seats, clearly just so his head is in the view, but he's not doing the Linda Blair exorcism 360 head spin.
That may or may not have been banned by Major League Baseball
I
several
assumed.
years ago. Several years ago.
Okay. For pitchers complaining?
Because he used to be behind home plate doing the head spin during
they're winding up.
Yeah, the bottom of the ninth. There's a reason he hasn't done that in a couple years.
Oh, okay.
And it's not because of the Jazz Chisholm controversy.
All right, well, Dinger was told no and can't do anything anymore. All right, to the Nuggets. What they did last night was nothing. They traded out of the first-round pick. They traded back to 35 with San Antonio and acquired a couple of future second-round picks. Like I said, Jake, I call last night a small win. I don't think it's a major win. I don't think they did anything that makes me go, yep, they figured it out, and I'm going to trust in Josh Kroenke, Ben Tenzer, and Jonathan Wallace again. No, I'm not there, but I like the position they're putting themselves in to maybe earn my trust back with some moves that they can make. I applaud what they did last night. None of the guys I liked were on the board. I know Koa Pete was. I don't like Koa Pete for the Denver Nuggets at pick number 26, so I wouldn't have used my selection on him. If I were in the Nuggets position at 26 with the players off the board that were off the board, I would have done exactly the same thing that they did.
Yep, that's where I'm at. It made sense to do that. It didn't seem like there was a trade-up possibility for them given what assets they had, so they couldn't go get their guy. I know people are upset they couldn't go get their guy, but look, no one in the NBA has any sort of salary room now with the aprons, and so unloading Cam Johnson, as easy as it might seem on paper, even on an expiring deal, it doesn't seem to be as logistically possible as some want to believe. So just stapling Cam Johnson and 26 together, while in theory you might be like, yeah, that should get you 15 where you could have drafted Dalen Swain, that's just not what's on the table for the Denver Nuggets as is. And there's a real chance here, Josh, that the Denver Nuggets, people are like, oh, well, they're going to trade off salary so that they can, get Payton Watson. There's a real chance that they're not able to trade out of some of the salary that they're committed to. And then the choice becomes, are you really going to let Payton Watson walk for free? That's completely your choice. There's no rule saying the Nuggets need to stop paying a certain amount where Payton Watson is. And that's a really interesting debate we're about to have about a week from now with, are you going to pay Payton Watson when you haven't yet traded Cam Johnson to clear the money? And I think they absolutely have to, which means they're going to have a $450 million basketball team in terms of expenses next year with the tax bill included for a team that won 2 playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, they might not really have another choice.
That's exactly what they have to do.
Right.
But it's like my lane of like them getting themselves unstuck. If you put yourself in the position with Payton Watson, you're right back to being stuck again. Financially, I guess well, no, because you'd be a second apron team and you can't do anything on buyout markets and you can't trade future draft picks and you're right back to being handcuffed with your roster.
Well, you can do stuff in the second apron, and this is where the marketing and the messaging around the second apron and the owners have done such a good job of, oh, it's so restrictive. Oh, when we're in the second apron, we can't do anything. It's so expensive. Josh, they can't trade the first-round pick they already don't have access to because they traded it.
But I didn't think you could trade any future picks until draft night. Wasn't that the position they were in last night?
They were able to trade their first-round pick on draft night, but that's because of the Stipien rule. That's not because of the aprons.
Okay.
That's because Stipien.
Too many stupid rules.
The Stipien guy who owned the Cleveland traded 4 straight first-round picks because he was stupid and the Cavs sucked for years. And there's a rule you can't trade picks in back-to-back years, so that's why teams have to wait till draft night, which is why guys continue to get drafted on the wrong team when everyone knows they're on the wrong team because they can't finalize the trade because of the Stipien rule, which is actually a good rule in theory, but it's the reason why Giannis couldn't get just traded for 8 first-round picks. You need to do every other year, blah, blah, blah. Point being is the rules that come with the second apron are you can't trade your draft pick that's 7 years out. Okay, the Nuggets have already traded that pick, so it doesn't matter. You can't, in the buyout market, pay for a guy that was making more than the mid-level exception. How many guys are getting bought out in the NBA that are making more than $12 million to begin with?
Probably 0. Maybe 1.
And how many players did the Nuggets get on the buyout market last year?
0.
1. Tyus Jones.
Oh, they got Tyus Jones, yeah.
Who was making the minimum contract before.
I guess the Dallas guy, was it Middleton? Chris Middleton?
Chris Middleton they were flirting with, and he was making more than that. But last year, your whole thing was, we're not going to the second apron because we got to be flexible.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not even going to sign a backup center when both of our centers have gone down with injury. The flexibility thing is BS. So, Josh, there's other restrictions, but you can't trade a pick that you already don't have access to. You can't sign a guy in the buyout market that you probably weren't going to sign already. It's harder to match salaries and trades when you can't already make trades because you're not have the assets to make trades. There are no real restrictions for what the Denver Nuggets are about to do that comes with the second apron.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the whole thing is them being in the second apron, they already signed up for it when they gave Christian Brown and Aaron Gordon those extensions. They knew they were going to be in the second apron. So trying to get out of it now is only hurting yourself in terms of your asset management.
We will revisit that conversation. I do want to get back to a Broncos conversation. We're breaking down a Broncos player or position group each day, right around this time. Today, we're on to Bo Nix. We got into this conversation a little bit earlier, and it kind of turned into a who's better, Bo or Caleb Williams conversation. Will we get there again? Find out coming up next.
You asked for it, you got it. Backed by popular demand, it's the Drive's Brouhaha.
Big social brouhaha.
This summer, Zach and Phil are back on the road bringing their party to you. Last up, Arvada. June 26th from 2 to 6 at Arvada Beer Garden.
That was quite a brouhaha.
Come find out what the commotion's all about. Head to DenverSports.com/drive for more details.
Guaranteed to bring the brouhaha.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
All right, fellas, what's going on? I got to talk to you about something that was a game changer for me a couple of years ago. Low T. I was dealing with it. I didn't even know I was dealing with it, but I was feeling the symptoms. Foggy, no energy because I can't sleep through the night. That means no energy to have a workout, so you're not seeing any gains or changes in your body. And one of the biggest reasons I started to work with Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic is because my sex drive was going away. And who the heck wants to live like that? Just losing some of the libido. And it matters to me to have a good sex life in my relationship. Matters to her too. Matters to your partner. If you're feeling any of those symptoms, you probably have low T. Set up your first appointment at RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com. It's only going to cost you $99. Could be free if you do what I did, which is sign up for testosterone treatment right there on the day of your appointment. You'll get your first pain-free booster shot in about 2 weeks. You'll start to feel it working. No brain fog, getting up earlier, ready to roll because you're sleeping well throughout the night. All of it has to do with your T levels, and we just stop producing it as much when we get older. Plus, new body composition programs happening with Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic. I'm actually going on Monday to learn a little bit more about what they're offering now, and I'll certainly be sharing it with you guys as soon as Monday. But if you're dealing with low energy, lack of a sex drive, it's because your testosterone levels aren't where they're supposed to be. Get them right at RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit TremfyaRadio.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-360-0681 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-360-0681. That's 800-360-0681. What do you have to lose? Call 800-360-0681. Again, 800-360-0681.
Has your doctor told you it's time to lose weight? Is your blood pressure up? Your cholesterol keeps climbing? Or you're already on medication and wondering, is this just my life now? Or been told you need a procedure or surgery, but you have to lose weight first? That's where most people get stuck. At Colorado Fat Loss, we help people lose 20 to 40 pounds naturally in about 60 days without injections, prepackaged meals, or extreme workouts. But more importantly, we help you keep it off so you're not stuck wondering what problem is next. Imagine lowering your blood pressure, improving your health, and taking pressure off your joints. Because if nothing changes, it's usually more medication or bigger problems down the road, especially if you have a family history of health issues or feeling the effects of getting older.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here. I lost 30 pounds in just 7 weeks, and I've been able to keep the weight off, and I'm telling you what, I feel great.
Many clients lose 20 to 40 pounds in about 60 days. Schedule a free consultation. Call and take control of your health. Go to coloradofatloss.com. That's coloradofatloss.com. Results may vary.
Switching your account numbers is hard. Being forced to switch, even worse. That's why at Belco Credit Union, we want to pay you to switch. From June 1st to August 31st, we're offering a $300 bonus when you open a new checking account with a qualifying direct deposit of $500 or more. They changed your account number. You can change who you bank with. Go to belco.org/switch for full offer details. Insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required. Conditions and restrictions apply. Belco. Banking for everyone.
Shop Honda keeps car buying simple. One price, one person, 1 hour means no games, no back and forth, and no dealer handling fees ever. Upfront pricing and one dedicated advisor who handles everything from start to finish. It's straightforward, stress-free, and honestly the way car buying should have always been. At Shop Honda, the experience is just as good as the vehicle you're driving home. Discover the Shop Honda difference for yourself. Visit Shop Honda today, proud partner of the Dover and Cecil Show.
Stream Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Dover and Cecil, The Drive, and all your favorite shows on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan app. Powered by Advanced Tax Solutions. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan presents Dover and Cecil.
All right, we're talking a little Bo Nix. Like I said, last time this turned into Bo versus Caleb Williams, but that wasn't my intent about the conversation, Jake. I promise I wasn't setting you up for that. But my idea was like, hey, where can I get Jake to have me a conversation about where he is with Bo Nix? And then I had some projected stats of what I think Bo can achieve as soon as this year. You actually upped some of those numbers, his touchdown numbers, which I thought would kind of help my argument about what Bo's going to be. And the question is, like, hey, if you don't think Bo can be a top-tier NFL quarterback, well, why? And what would he have to achieve to get that? I floated out the idea of 4,200 yards, 30 touchdowns, 11 interceptions, 400 rushing yards, and then the additional 3 or 4 rushing touchdowns. I'm basing it all on kind of the averages and numbers he hit, and I'm elevating his passing yards, not even by a lot, by like 269 is where I'm elevating his yards, which is not much at all. And I actually think that's very achievable. Like, on the low end of passing yards is where he can go. 30 touchdowns is impressive. I don't care how you're doing it or where you're doing it. That's an impressive number. He's always going to be safe with the football, so his interception number is always going to live between 10 and 13 every single year. Rushing yards, we'll see how hesitant or not hesitant he is to run the ball, but I still think just football instinct, he's going to give you about 400 yards every single year. And if he has that kind of season, he was already a top 8 passer a year ago in yards. He was a top 10 passer in touchdowns in his rookie season. And he's been a dual threat from the pocket in each of his first 2 years as well. So if he puts up these projected stats that I'm floating that aren't even that crazy, Jake, I just would say, and maybe I'd have to say it to you, I'd have to say, if you don't think that's a top 8, 9 quarterback in the NFL, I might be able to argue top 5 with those kind of numbers, then I think you're kind of just hating.
There's a difference in my mind between the 8th and 7th best quarterback in the NFL and the top 3. And the conversation on this show consistently seems to be about Bo being a potential MVP. Being Bo is with Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, because that is an MVP.
Well, we had, it was NFL.com, I don't know the writer, who cares, about dark horse MVPs. And that was where we started to like, why wouldn't Bo be a part of this dark horse MVP conversation?
Well, and he had really good odds like in week 13, week 14-ish last year. Like, but you're talking about a dark horse MVP, and for Bo to step up to the level of the tier 1 quarterbacks, and I'm talking about Stafford, Allen, and Patrick Mahomes. I think there's a second tier that is like Dak Prescott, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, that Bo isn't in right now, but I could see Bo getting it. Look, if you want to call me a Bo hater because I think he has a chance to be the 4th best quarterback in the NFL, go for it, man. If that's really your expectation and your idea that Bo's going to be an MVP, I'm happy for you. I don't think Bo is that caliber of player. I simply do not. I think Bo has a chance to be an above average to very good quarterback for the next 5 to 10 years. And that is something you can build around. That is something you can win with the right team constraints and the right coaching and everything going right. Bo is a quarterback that you can win with. And that's all we've been asking for in Denver since Peyton Manning retired. So now if everyone wants to put the cart before the horse and saying, or in this case, I guess the cart before Miles and say, that was corny.
That was good. Thanks. I liked
it. and say, yeah, we're talking about Bo Nix MVP. To me, Bo still has a couple little steps to take before he can get to that level. And I know he's hit those numbers where he's been close to 30 touchdowns. He's been close to 4,000 yards. And both of those numbers are last 3 years in the NFL. Only like 5 guys have thrown for 4,000 yards each of those years. Only 5 guys have thrown for 30 touchdowns the last 5 years. But he hasn't even done that yet. So let's get there. Let's think about it. Let's see how he performs in those games, how it leads to team success, how he's creating individual plays. And if he does all that, then I'm fine to have the conversation of him being in that second tier of quarterbacks. But that first tier, Allen, Mahomes, and Stafford, these guys have been doing what we want Bo Nix's best year to be like for the last 5-10 years.
And I get that. I can't even argue with you on that. Does he have to do a lot of proving to be in that conversation? Yes, he does. But this is where I think you and I are different. I think he's going to start that process this season. I think Jalen Waddle's a huge part of it. I think Davis Webb is a huge part of it. I want J.K. Dobbins to be a huge part of it, but his body's going to break down and let us all down, so he can't be. I think he's on his way to starting that process as soon as this year. And it's year 3. How many guys come in the first couple of years and are a part of these conversations? It's the dudes you're saying. It's the Mahomes and Stafford was in Detroit, so it didn't count that much. But you know what I mean? He's not on that top tier right now, but that doesn't mean he can't be there at some point sooner rather than later.
Having a new offensive coordinator helps him, according to you. Okay. A lot of times having a new
the right one. The right one.
And he's the right one?
I believe so.
Okay. A lot of times having a new voice as an offensive coordinator can harm a quarterback's progression. And I'm not saying Davis Webb is wrong, but having a turnover at the OC position can be something that has an effect, both positive and negative, on Bo Nix.
If you're changing offenses and things and all of that, it's a whole new ballgame.
Well, it went from Sean's offense to the Broncos offense.
Yeah. Which is a.k.a. Sean's offense. That Davis will say the words out loud. That's what that means.
Some of the words will change, though, Sean said.
Yeah.
So
Shorter words.
Shorter words. Because Sean couldn't get them out in time.
Yeah. He's just an old guy. All right. Fun conversation there. I'm a believer in Bo. Jake wants to see a little bit more from what he has to do. We got some Kiss My Stats number to go over. How bad were the Broncos inside the 5-yard line, and what do they do to be better as soon as next year? That's coming at you next.
You asked for it, you got it. Backed by popular demand, it's the Drives Brouhaha.
Big social brouhaha.
This summer, Zach and Phil are back on the road bringing their party to you. Last up, Arvada. June 26th from 2 to 6 at Arvada Beer Garden.
That was quite a brouhaha.
Come find out what the commotion's all about. Head to DenverSports.com/drive for more details.
Guaranteed to bring the brouhaha.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Hey guys, Mark Schlereth here from my friends at Xfinity. Usually when something sounds way too good to be true, it is. Imagine someone says you can cut your mobile bill in half. Sounds like a fantasy, but with Xfinity Mobile, it's a real deal. Because when you have Xfinity Internet, you can cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year, no commitment. That's a lot of streaming, sharing, scrolling, and whatever else you can do with your phone, all for half the price and none of the commitment. What that means, you'll save big over Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. Now all you have to do is think about how you'll spend all that extra money. Call 1-800-XFINITY, go to XfinityMobile.com, or visit a local Xfinity store to switch today. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Savings compare one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes and fees extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
You can't always predict what's next, but you can be ready for it in a BMW SUV. The performance-driven X1 comes built for every journey, while the X3's sporty design and innovative technology keep your drive connected. The X5 blends performance with a commanding presence, or make it even bigger with 3 rows of luxurious seating in the X7. For every road, there's an X built to drive it. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Gebhardt BMW, your trusted family dealer since 1975.
Walk into the back office of most small businesses and you'll see an old DVR humming on a shelf and a camera over the register the owner isn't even sure is recording. They got that like 10 years ago, and the company that installed it doesn't pick up. Vantage can repair or replace all of it. Cameras that read a face in the dark, access control, network, intercom, AV, one company, one number. Invest in real security for your business or property. Call Vantage at 720-366-7759 or visit business.vssicolorado.com today.
Rob Dino here at BeatTheDA.com. I've handled over 7,000 cases, 300 trials. Let's face it, divorce is really impactful. You may have a controlling spouse. You may have a violent spouse. You may have been a victim of a domestic violence. You may be wrongfully accused of domestic violence. This all affects parenting rights. And let's face it, the kids are the most important. These are the things that need to be handled. They need to be handled appropriately by someone that's going to protect your kids and protect your rights. Hit me up at BeatTheDA.com, 720-706-5151.
Hey, it's Phil Lindsay here. Do you need a new roof, gutters, or exterior needs? Monarch is your one-stop shop, backed by 16 years of experience and over 10,000 satisfied customers. Their in-house insurance team fights for you, and their white glove service means every detail is handled with care. Competitive pricing, award-winning craftsmanship, and the only roofer the Denver Broncos chose to endorse. A proud member of Team Dave Logan, make the call to your home team, Monarch Construction and Roofing, the official roofer of the Denver Broncos.
Did you really think Pure Talk was just going to sit back and watch America turn 250 years old without doing something awesome to celebrate? Of course not. That's why they're raising $250,000 for America's Warrior Partnership by the end of July. America's Warrior Partnership is on the front line of preventing veteran suicide. They've had extraordinary success, and here's how you can help. When you switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk this month, you'll be invited to round up to support America's Warrior Partnership. No pressure, but if you do, Pure Talk will match your donation dollar for dollar. And to further celebrate 250 years of our extraordinary democratic republic, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. That's pound 250, say Mike Rowe. And happy birthday to us.
Hey guys, it's Mark Schlereth. I just made one of the best decisions of my life. I got rid of my glasses. I went to Cutarelli Vision and had refractive lens exchange, RLE. I wore glasses for distance vision, but I got to that inevitable point in life where I was always needing those reading glasses just to do about anything, and half the time I couldn't find them. Seeing menus, texting, reading my computer, or studying film, it was a struggle. But now I see the world perfectly, near and far, without any glasses, thanks to Cutarelli Vision RLE, the perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the cherry on top. You'll never develop a cataract. Dr. Cutarelli is Colorado's most experienced with over 90,000 vision correction procedures. You can trust him to know if it's the right time for you and RLE. Schedule your free Zoom consultation at coloradorle.com. Cutarelli Vision RLE, no readers, glasses, or contacts, or cataracts. coloradorle.com.
From cowboy flying aces to local astronauts, discover the Coloradans who changed flight forever. Determined to fly. Now open at Wings Over the Rockies. Learn more at wingsmuseum.org.
Listen up, Denver. This hour's keyword is BALK, B-A-L-K. Text BALK to 303-713-1043 right now for your chance to win a $250 gas card. That's BALK to 303-713-1043.
By texting, you agree to receive an automated marketing message from DenverSports 1043 The Fan. Message and data rates may apply. For complete rules or to enter the keyword online, visit www.denversports.com/keyword.
You're listening to Dover and Cecil on Denver Sports 1043 The Fan.
All right, we want to have a conversation about what happens inside the 5-yard line for the Denver Broncos. Or Kiss My Stats action, some numbers from our man Kevin Kistner about their results inside the 5-yard line. And then a conversation we'll have is how do they get better at it? What do they do to improve on some of those numbers? My man Jake Shapiro sitting in with us today. And these numbers inside the 5-yard line from the 2025-26 season. They made 25 trips where the ball was snapped at the 5 or inside of it. Of those 25 trips, they scored 19 times. 15 were touchdowns, 4 were field goals. When I say that out loud, I go, that's a decent percentage. 19 times you're scoring out of 25?
No.
You don't like that?
No, you got to score more.
What would the number be?
More field goals. How do they not get more field goals?
Oh, I guess, yeah, if you're at the 5. That means you're losing a lot of yards going the wrong way. Or, I hate to give you more homework, Kevin, on Kiss My Stats, but how many times did Sean go for it on 4th down and not get it?
You know, in Interstellar, you've seen Interstellar.
I have. It's been a while, yeah.
Okay. You know when he's sitting there in the room and he's like in the vortex and like he's trying to be like, no, it's the watch.
Yeah,
it's the watch.
Yeah.
Kick the field goal, Sean! Kick the field goal! That's me.
We're all that guy.
All summer, man. And like honestly, I wonder if that
pull, Jake.
I wonder if that has an effect going into next year. And you talk about like them trying to get more points in the red zone. And I know the goal is to get touchdowns, not field goals. But dang, a field goal's better than nothing. It's a lot better than nothing.
Well, especially when you're winning, 11 one-score games. Like, that one score could make the difference in a game.
And that's not going to happen this year.
No,
they're not
it's
winning
definitely
11
not.
one-score games.
You're not going to get close to that number.
So,
yeah, you probably do need a little bit more of the field goal action going on. Of those 25 trips, there were 46 total plays called. 26 of them were pass attempts. That leaves you 20 with rushing attempts. In those 20 rushing attempts, they scored 8 touchdowns. In the 26 passing attempts, they scored 7 touchdowns. So your scoring percentage is better running the football. And then if you take away the negative plays, Dobbins had 3 negative runs. Batty had 1. Harvey had 1. Adam Prentice had 1. Well, Batty's not going to be on the team, so he won't have that opportunity. Jaleel McLaughlin shouldn't be on the team, so he won't have that opportunity. J.K. Dobbins, he's not going to give you 5 yards per every time he touches the ball. So if you're going backwards a couple of times, maybe don't do it at the 5, but you can expect that from time to time. My biggest question is Davis Webb. And Mike Kliss told us something, Jake, like, man, I feel like it's been 3 months ago. Because I said, oh, well, they're going to have more of an emphasis on running the ball, right? Because Davis Webb, he's a former quarterback, knows that the running game could be the quarterback's best friend. And Kliss went, nah, not so fast. He's still a quarterback, wants to throw the ball, wants to air it out, wants to do more of that. And with what Sean's doing there, it's still going to be his offense. They want to air it out and throw the ball as well. So I don't know that I can just hold my hat on, well, Davis is going to run the ball more. But if Bo has more time, if they're getting to the line of scrimmage sooner because play callers are shorter and Davis knows I need my quarterback to dissect the defense before he's snapping it and running for his life, perhaps there's an opportunity for Bo to check in and out of things where you are a pass-heavy team and the defense knows that you are that, but Bo gets to the line of scrimmage and goes, oh, linebacker's out of place. I'm checking into the second play that was a run play, and J.K. Dobbins, Jonah Coleman, or R.J. Harvey are going to dance into the end zone. So maybe a little bit of what Davis allows Bo puts the Broncos in a better position at the 5-yard line.
Man, if Bo Nix has more than 600 passing attempts next year, come on, man. I don't want it. Like, just stop.
I don't either, but again,
even if it's 1 fewer per game, that's 595 or whatever. Like that's even better. And I know the Broncos run those de facto run plays that are pass plays, those wide receiver screens or those pitch plays up the middle. I know part of their run game per se and the way they run block and scheme-wise is with some things that are called pass plays. I disagree with whatever Mike Kliss said there that you were talking about, because is Bo Nix trying to be a winner, or is Bo Nix trying to be a guy who throws for 4,500 yards?
He just wants to win.
Okay, so why does he care how the ball ends up in the end zone?
Just score the points?
Yeah, so then it could be his best friend. If, like, for me, I look at last year with Josh Allen.
Well, I mean, you've played sports. You know what I want to do? I want to win first. You know what I want to do? 1B? Look good doing it.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. For me, when I play sports, as long as we win and I don't like get hurt and or lose my job, Like if I was like an athlete, I'd be good. Like I don't care if I scored 2 points. And maybe this is like the Miles Bridges and or Mikal Bridges and me talking from the Nets, or the Knicks. He was on the Nets, but with the Knicks. But like, I think his finals run that he just had was fine. And some days he was scoring 2 points, some days he was scoring 15. But I don't really care as long as we're winning. Like maybe that's just me as like an ultimate team player, and that's how I always am. But I look at Josh Allen's season last year, and statistically, according to a lot of metrics, it was a step back for Josh Allen over his year before where he won MVP. Like he was just worse in a lot of different things by like one tick. It wasn't a lot, but it was like one tick. He was worse at this and worse at that, right? But the Bills were probably a better team last year than they were the year before. Like I thought so at least. And you know why that is? It's because James Cook was freaking awesome. He ran for 1,600 yards and had just so many touchdowns. I mean, if you weren't playing fantasy football last year, you know James Cook like destroyed you anytime you played against him. I look at that, and I know J.K. Dobbins is probably not going to be 1,600 yards and 15 touchdowns because the chances are he's going to get hurt and at least miss a month. I'd be shocked if J.K. Dobbins played in 16 games.
Oh, don't hold your breath on that.
Right. But if you give me 12 games of J.K. Dobbins and he rushes for around 1,000 yards in those 12 games.
That's a really good year for him.
Yeah, and I don't think that that's off the table. Like, that's 80 yards a game from Dobbins. Like, that's possible. So if that's the case around Bo Nix and that is what's winning the Broncos games per se, Bo Nix is a team guy. I don't think he cares. And I think there is a scenario in which the running game is his best friend. The problem is I have some questions about the health of Dobbins and the scheme of their offensive line, which has not been good from a rushing standpoint since 21? Since Phil Lindsay, who's now sitting in this chair. Right, since Phil Lindsay was playing running back and he does what I do now for a living. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I will say this too, and now I want him to run the ball. I want there to be more emphasis on running the ball, specifically inside first down and inside the 5-yard line, because that's just what you should be doing. But this just popped into my head as you were talking. Jalen Waddle's going to command a bunch of attention on that side. If Evan Ingram has any sort of sign of life, he's going to get some attention from the linebackers inside the 5-yard line. You know what that means? Cortland Sutton's over there one-on-one with might be your best cornerback, but are they the same frame as Cortland when you're just asking Bo, put it at the high point and let Cortland go get it? Very few opportunities did Cortland have one-on-one coverage without a bracketed safety over the top in the red zone where you just get to throw that fade route jump ball. I want more running, but like you said, I want more touchdowns first. And if Cortland's getting one-on-ones and Bo just gets to throw it up, you're going to get more touchdowns.
If I were the Kansas City Chiefs, week 1, this is what I'm doing defensively. I'm bracketing Jalen Waddle, and I'm bracketing Cortland Sutton because I don't need to pack the box. This team throws 600 times a year.
So you're going to use what they want against them.
Yeah. Try to run the ball against me.
No, you're smart.
And you know what? Hey, try to have Evan Ingram beat me one-on-one. And, Marvin Mims, your coach admits all the time you struggle to get him the ball. Try to get him the ball.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I try to beat the Broncos if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs week 1. Until the Broncos prove that they can consistently run the ball or get the ball to Ingram or Mims, I'm doubling Waddle and Sutton. I am.
And you probably can if you don't care about loading the box. And if J.K. Dobbins isn't there, you certainly don't have to load the box.
The one thing you'd have to worry about if you're the Chiefs in that scenario is spying Bo Nix. And guess what? Let's find out about that ankle.
I think his ankle's going to be just fine.
I am very hopeful, but again, until I see it, I'm a little scared.
We got to talk about something that's happening on Twitter. Our man Alex turned us on to it. We have to decipher a code, a Jaylen Brown tweet code. That's coming up next.
Parents, looking for a fun way to get your kid active this summer?
Are you kidding me?
Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan's third annual Be a Mentor, Be a Fan Youth Football Camp is back. Brought to you by Walmart. Saturday, June 27th at Denver South High School's All-City Stadium. Your child, ages 8 to 14, will learn the fundamentals of football in a safe, hands-on environment from people who played the game at the highest level. We're talking former Denver Broncos Mark Schlereth, Philip Lindsay, and Brandon Stokely, along with a trusted coaching staff from Denver South. And every dollar raised goes to Big Brothers Big Sisters of Colorado. So your family is giving back just by showing up. Sign up today at DenverSports.com/camp. That's DenverSports.com/camp.
Getting a little older doesn't have to mean, well, getting older.
This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if you're feeling low energy, can't sleep, can't lose weight, are struggling with brain fog, or your sex drive is off, it's time to change it up. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, our advanced medical strategies featuring TRT, GH peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more treat low T and other hormonal issues to help you shed pounds, have more energy, enhance your body composition, improve sleep, increase your sex drive, and so much more, getting you back in the game again. So don't be older. Be stronger in the gym. Be sharper at work. Be better in the bedroom, and be more confident in every part of your life. So call us today and find out how our advanced treatment strategies could change the game for you. Your first visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on one of our advanced treatment plans on the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
I'm Rob Wilhite. If you've been in a car accident, you need experience that wins. For almost 50 years in Colorado, my firm has recovered over $1 billion for crash victims. Call 303-GOOD-LAW or visit WilhiteWins.com. That's WilhiteWins.com.
Colorado, it's time to take our recycling to the next level. That's why Recycle-On Colorado is bringing you more curbside and drop-off service from peaks to prairies. Guidelines as clear as our skies, so you know what goes where. And the price? As free as gawking at Bighorns on I-70. You deserve a recycling system you can count on, like your puffiest winter coat. And we're here to give it to you. Learn more at recycleon.org/Colorado.
Hey guys, your boy Stink here, and if you're a guy over 50 dealing with an enlarged prostate, you need to know about PAE, prostate artery embolization. It's minimally invasive, done through a tiny pinhole, and you're back home the same day. Most men who have PAE don't experience any sexual side effects associated with conventional prostate surgery. At Colorado Advanced Endovascular, their experienced team offers specialized prostate treatments with near zero impact on sexual function. Top-tier radiologists, boutique setting, personalized care in Lakewood. Go to coloradoae.com.
Hi, this is Larry Jager with SCL Mortgage. It's home buying season in Colorado, and we can offer you the best loan program at the best available rate. Visit us at myspecialmortgage.com or call 303-790-2222, NMLS number 1200716.
Brandon Stokely from my friends at Roller Auction, leader in Colorado auctions for over 40 years. They conduct over 150 auctions every year, selling tens of thousands of items at the price you set. Auctions are held regularly for Colorado government agencies, and they always have big-ticket items at great prices. That's why I love Roller Auction. And almost all bidding is conducted online in real time, and it's open to the public. Anyone can participate. Check back regularly. New auctions are added weekly. Be the first to know about new auctions available for bidding when you sign up for email notifications. Go to rollerauction.com/thefan.
Smart homeowners know that proper maintenance of their home's AC can save a bundle in the long run. Trust our comfort specialists at 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning to keep your AC running strong. A proactive tune-up can actually help your AC run more efficiently and save you money on your electric bill. Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com. We won't leave you waiting. Sing it with me.
Always on time, or you don't pay it time. Always on time, or you don't pay it time.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
Let the big dog eat. What's up, guys? Zach here, and I am all in on golf these days. Always looking for tee times, booking lessons, and saying yes to rounds with friends. And that's why Aurora has become my go-to for playing and practicing. Yes, we're talking about practice. From beginners just starting out to competitive players, Aurora Golf has a course you'll love. All 5 courses are in beautiful shape. The staff are super friendly, and the value, man, it's tough to beat. Book your next round tonight at golfaurora.com and give their Instagram a follow at golfaurora.co.
Want real Broncos talk? Cecil Lammy and Andrew Mason bring the heat on Orange and Blue Today. The most passionate intelligence and in-depth Broncos coverage in the game. Weekdays at 5 p.m. on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan YouTube channel. Hit subscribe at Denver Sports 104.3 and never miss another take. Orange and Blue Today, powered by Ramos Law, official injury law firm partner of the Denver Broncos. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. It's Dover and Cecil on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
All right, last segment. Final segment on this Wednesday. Jake Shapiro sitting in for Cecil Lammy. Always appreciate you, Shep, sliding in, hanging with me for a couple of days. Do want to remind everybody, it is your last day to sign up for our Be a Fan, Be a Mentor Youth Football Camp. It's presented by our friends over at Walmart. It's happening this Saturday, June 27th at Denver South High School's All-City Stadium. If you've got kids between the ages of 8 and 14 that want to learn a little bit more about the game or just get ready for their school season, you can get some coaching from former Broncos, some pros like Stink, Stoke, Philip Lindsay, as well as a staff of coaches from Denver South. All proceeds are going to benefit Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Colorado. So for more information, get your kids registered on the last day. Take advantage of it right now. Head to DenverSports.com/camp. That is DenverSports.com/camp. Go there. Get signed up immediately. All right, we'll talk about what we're watching tonight, things going on in the sports world, Rocks, Red Sox, World Cup action happening, and then round 2 of the NBA draft this evening. But before we do any of that, Alex, you have discovered something. You found a tweet from one Jaylen Brown that's sending the internet crazy right now, a buzz on the internet. What did JB share?
Well, I think what we have to preface it with is it was a tweet, and as we know, everything on the internet means something.
That's right. There's a meaning.
So Jaylen Brown tweets out randomly out of nowhere, "I love cats." That's it. That's the only thing he puts out on the internet. And a lot of sleuths who are very good at what they do on the internet are trying to piece it together.
Yeah.
The best thing that I've heard people come up with, it must mean he wants to go to a team that has a cat either in their logo or as a mascot. And what team here in Denver has a mountain lion as their mascot? I'm not saying that confirms it, but I think you can see where I'm trying to go.
Yes. So Jaylen wants to hang out with Rocky. That's what it is.
Hold on.
Rocky's doing all the cool stunts. He's being choked from the top rope.
You're from Indiana. What's the Pacers mascot?
It's a panther.
So it's a cat.
Yeah. There's actually 2 others in the NBA that are as well.
The Kings, because they're lions.
That's exactly right.
And
it's Slamson the Lion there in Sacramento.
Then there's also the New York Knicks' best player, or second best player, is named Cat.
Okay. He's a free agent, right?
No.
Oh, he's not this year?
No, Cat signed up. He's on a crazy deal.
Oh, I thought.
If you saw what Karl Anthony Towns is being paid, your eyes would open because Mitchell Robinson's a free agent. That's
okay.
Why.
So
you
it's
got your centers confused.
Okay.
So what could it mean?
The Portland Trailblazers, Blaze the Trail Cat, is their mascot as well, which is pretty stupid, but
maybe he's just at home and he's like liking cats.
He's just ripped. He's like, my cat he's got the laser pointer. Man, this is awesome. Look at my cat. I'm going to share how much I love my cat.
Maybe he's like
I've been there, dude.
On a 4-wheeler and he's like on one of those cats.
Oh, like the Caterpillar.
Yeah.
Like the company.
Yeah.
So he's just trolling all of us is what this is.
He just wants the internet to know that he sees everything
He's
going
aware.
on right now, and he's come out of his hole to let people know he knows what's going on.
Do you remember, I know Alex will too, you will too, the Luka Doncic at the free throw line staring at Devin Booker? I saw a meme that was this conversation about Jaylen Brown to the Celtics front office. Just staring at him in the face like that. I'm like, what's up, guys? What's up now? He's got to get traded, right?
So, wait, I'm just going to ask you this as an esteemed radio host in a big market. You were coming up like 9 years ago, and someone was like, all right, Josh, we have high hopes for you, but we're thinking about trading you for Chris Russo. How would you feel about that and where you worked at that time?
I'd be pissed.
Okay. 2 years ago, fast forward. 2 years ago, they're like, we're thinking about trading you for Nick Wright. Would you be pissed?
I'd be even more pissed.
Okay, now they're like, you know what? We're thinking about trading you for Stephen A.
I could probably understand. I could probably understand the situation.
Because that's the situation. Jaylen Brown was part of the Anthony Davis package. He was part of the Kevin Durant package, and he was part of the Giannis package when when Boston was rumored to be talking to those 3 teams.
Yeah. I would understand a couple of those.
But you would still not be happy with him.
No.
And they've been trying to trade you now for 10 years for one of these better radio hosts.
I would do everything in my power to sabotage that radio station. Moving forward, if I'm just being honest.
Okay. So you don't think he can go back to the Boston Celtics?
I think they think he can. But if, again, we're being Jaylen Brown in this instance, why the hell would he want to? Can you just separate business? Can it just, all right, I get it. It's just business. It's easy to say that. I can say that and then go home and complain about how I really feel.
So from my perspective, it's one thing when I'm a 19-year-old and I'm being shopped for a top 75 player in NBA history in Anthony Davis. It's another when I'm being shopped and I haven't won anything for Kevin Durant, who's one of the top 75 players in NBA history. It's another one now I'm an all-NBA player and I'm being shopped for a guy who spent the entire season hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where it crosses.
And you're
the
a
line.
recent finals MVP.
Yes. He is a very accomplished player. And I know Giannis is one of the greatest players in the history of basketball, but Jaylen Brown's a very accomplished player. And in his mind, he probably believes at this point in his career, he's better than Giannis. I with no doubt, I believe that.
He has to believe that.
Right. And that's part of the reason why he's a great athlete is he probably thinks things like that. Number two, for me working against Jaylen Brown is once you get a taste of being on your own team and leading your own team, which he did this year with the Tatum Achilles injury, very rarely can you put that genie back in the bottle with an NBA player. You got to take 22 shots. You got to do whatever you want.
Monkeys don't go back in the barrel, bro, from Pineapple Express.
We're all over it with the movie references today. Well, Jerry Maguire, Interstellar, Pineapple Express. We got to do our letterbox like first four at one point.
Be a fun show day. That's a July show coming up.
Yeah, when we're just struggling. I'm on with you in July a bunch.
Yeah. Cecil takes most of July off, so we'll do that at some point.
Yeah, me and you just talk movies all day.
We'll talk movies, aliens. Kevin's got a mermaid theory we got to get into. We got all kinds of stuff going on.
I'm excited to hear the mermaid theory. Kiss my stats with mermaids.
With mermaids, yes.
But you've got two things working against you in Jaylen Brown that historically both those things mean you can't come back to that team. And I don't think you can overcome both of them. And I would be stunned to see Jaylen Brown start the season in Boston next year. I think he's going to get traded. I said this yesterday. He could be traded as soon as sometime this week.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be traded sometime at least before July 4th.
Oh, with new league year and
Yeah,
everything
free
happening.
agency. Because, actually right now, and people don't understand this because they think everything works like the NFL, you can actually make trades in the NBA right now under the old league year because it's actually easier with some trades.
Right.
But in some of them, you have to wait till the new league year because it's easier with other trades.
Was the Wiggins under new league? Or old league?
Which Wiggins?
Aaron Wiggins.
Oh, Aaron Wiggins was under the old league year.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
It was an easier deal for them to complete last year than it is this year. So, for instance, with Christian Brown, his contract doesn't kick in completely until the new league year, which you might be saying that makes him easier to trade. It actually makes him harder to trade because he's poison-pilled, which means he's like in between salaries. So the Nuggets would be trading him at a certain salary, and the team taking him in would be getting him back at a certain salary. Whereas, that's the exact same thing going on with Aaron Gordon. So if the Nuggets were to trade Christian Brown or Aaron Gordon, it'd actually be easier to happen when the new league year starts. With Cam Johnson, it probably would be easier to make that trade now.
So Jalen's probably still on the move. I mean, that would be a huge block. He's not going to go for nothing. Be a pretty damn big blockbuster trade.
He's in the All-NBA team last year.
Yeah.
He was fantastic. He was in the MVP conversation
He
for a majority of the year.
scored 30 points a game.
Yes. That's a major guy.
He can get it done. All right, so we'll keep an eye on those sort of things. Just watch out for Jaylen Brown's tweets. What's going on there? I asked you this earlier about Wemby and San Antonio and then kind of OKC still kind of hanging around. Are any of these teams building for New York? Are the Knicks this threat that you have to go, wow, we got to build and stop Josh Hart or Karl Anthony Towns from making those corner threes and being a facilitator sometimes?
I think Boston will. This offseason, you'll see a shift in approach because New York built their roster around stopping Boston. And until they shift their roster away from being wing dependent in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum against this Knicks team, until Boston shifts, the Knicks will beat them every time. So the Boston Celtics need to shift, at least if the Knicks stay the way they are. I think the takeaway won't necessarily be how can we change our roster to stop the Knicks so much as if we have a small guard, we just got proven it was possible. Here's the recipe. How do we recapture some of that? And that's the question I think the Washington Wizards are asking themselves when giving Trae Young $212 million this week, which instantly turns into the worst contract in the NBA.
Yep.
But it's still possible because he is a good basketball player and a good point guard at that, but he's a smaller guard. And they went out and they drafted something that would fit right well next to Trae Young and A.J. Dembassa. And they already have a center who's one of the best defensive centers in the history of the NBA. I know we don't like Anthony Davis here, and I'm with you, and I think he's overrated as well. But there's no disputing that he is literally a top 100 player in the history of the NBA and an incredible defensive center. So you look at some of the ways the Washington Wizards are building, and I think that is in reaction to what the Knicks just did. So I don't know if teams are building to stop the Knicks, but they are building in reaction to what the Knicks did.
It's like an acknowledgement of.
Yeah.
That's
totally
fair. That's fair. Yeah, Trae Young. It's one of my more fun sports stories. Dominique Wilkins told me, dude, it was like 2019. Everybody in this organization would move off of Trae Young today if we could. That was in 2019. And they finally did it just this last year. Trae Young on
after
your
giving him like $200 million
right,
more dollars.
Because they're trying to sell tickets. That's what the whole deal was. Trae Young on your basketball team means you're not a serious basketball team. He's not a serious NBA player.
Well, and the thing I would tell you, too, is we already saw Trae Young with the number 1 overall pick in the draft, who was a 6'9" wing. Zachary Risachet.
Oh. And that's a good, deep Jake Shapiro pool there. All right, it's KKFN, HD1, Longmont, Denver, plus our friends up there at KARS in Laramie. What up with it? 102.9. We appreciate you guys rocking with us. All right, Shap, before we're out of here, what happens tonight? 35-49 for the Nuggets. Are we talking about a new Nuggets player tomorrow, or are they trading out of these spots too?
They're signing at least one player tonight. I didn't say draft.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if they didn't draft at least one. I think there's a way the Nuggets escape tonight with at least probably 2 players. One maybe undrafted as a 2-way, and then one probably picked with the 49th pick. I'd be pretty surprised if they actually pick at 35. I believe they'll try to split that pick up, and maybe they'll turn it into a future second and a future second round pick swap or something. But it doesn't make a ton of sense for them to target the 35th pick with somebody that they think is going to actually contribute next year. That's part of the reason why they didn't pick at 26. It's because there wasn't really anyone for them to get that would contribute to the team this coming year.
Yeah, honestly, if you're going to pick at 49, what's there, what's available at 35? We talked about the kid from BYU can fill it up, but he's a little older and is coming off an ACL injury just a few months ago in February, but it's a name to kind of keep an eye on and look at. Can plug and play as an NBA player. How much time does he? Dude's second contract. The dude's 30 already, so that's a slippery slope right there. But I would say picking one player tonight and then maybe moving to get more second-round picks in the future would be the play. So you can start to unload some of these players and see what you can get back. But we'll see what they do and, of course, be reacting to it, be all over it tomorrow night. Philip Lindsay has slid in here, one half of the drive.
What's going on, man?
What up, Phil? We both said we were okay with what the Nuggets did last night.
You guys were.
Like, hey, you didn't do anything. The guys I liked, the guys he liked weren't available. They actually,
sure.
The guys I liked went like 15 spots ahead of where I thought they might have ended up, or 10 spots ahead. So they traded back, got some assets that the way I explained it was they're like a car stuck on the beach or in the snow. They got 2 free tires last night.
They're trying to free up some flexibility.
You're
right?
almost moving again as an NBA team.
Yeah, guys, I guess. But the fan in me is a little upset. I wanted to see some type of firework. Not a bunch of them. We knew it wasn't going to be explosive, but I wanted to see the Denver Nuggets either move up and be more aggressive of moving up, like pairing Aaron Gordon with the first-round draft pick and moving up a couple of places to pick a young, athletic, rangy, defensive-minded guy. That's what I was looking for. And also to, the reason I said you attach on, Aaron Gordon to the first-round draft pick is you free up the books from his payday, which is around $32 million. So then you give yourself even more flexibility and then bring in a young player that could help you out in the future. I was hoping for a little bit more aggressiveness. I understand why they're doing that. They're trying to backtrack and help themselves out for the future. But I'm about the now, man. And I'm a fan. And I wanted to see a player be picked up or just for the Denver Nuggets to be more aggressive of saying, hey, we're going to at least try to win a lot of games this year and try to compete in the playoffs.
Well, and I know you feel that way. And then the second round, we talked about 35 and 49. It's a very short list of those guys that can go and make that impact. I asked Phil, Zach, if he was cool with him not picking a player last night. Are you?
I don't. I would have preferred a player. Yeah, I would have preferred a player. I don't think we'll be able to judge this until the dust settles here and see what they do with it, because I think there's a very good chance that the stuff that they traded for last night, there's 0 of it left by midnight tonight. I just thought the more transactional period was going to be last night. I mean, first-round picks have, basically to me, and there's a lot of layers to this, but basically to me, it feels just kind of like a nothing burger for right now. But we don't have all the information. I mean, it is super uneventful. Second round draft picks, I'd be stunned. So I said last night, I think heading into the draft, that the least likely result was they stay there and pick a player at number 26.
Yeah.
And for a second there, I thought they were going to do it. And tonight, I'll say the least likely scenario, I think, is that they use those picks for players. I don't see it. And if you,
either one of the picks,
I'd say it's more likely than you don't use any of them over you picking two players. So maybe they pick a player, but because here's the thing, if you desire some of these players that were left, like you could have just taken them at the end of the first round, which you were already there. So it wouldn't make a lot of sense to me if they move back into the second round and pick players where you could just I don't think that's going to happen. I think the probability of that is super low. It just last night was just kind of like another step towards like, here we are in this like wandering sort of purgatory period. And regardless of what they do, I'm not going to, and you guys help me out. Can you envision some move that will happen tonight where we're coming into work tomorrow and fired up about what they did?
No.
No, heck no.
I mean, what if?
If they salary dump Zeke Nnaji, you're going to be pumped, Josh?
I'd be pumped that they got rid of Zeke Nnaji, but it doesn't help me with the Nuggets winning a championship.
Yeah.
I just finally get a guy off the roster that's been stealing money for 4 years.
Yeah. Again, like what would represent, and I'll throw this out there to the RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043, YouTube chat powered by Sean Ponda. What would represent something that could happen here tonight that would inspire you as a Nuggets fan?
I'll ask you this because you know more about it than me, and I don't know where you guys are at with it, but is there a way where they move Zeke and Cam tonight?
Yeah, but I don't think it would be draft pick necessarily dependent per se. Like maybe the 35th pick is with Zeke and Cam, and they're able to get, like I threw out Najee Marshall, and I've thrown out that name a bunch in the past. They're able to get Najee Marshall or something like that back. There are some trades with, just because we mentioned Jaylen Brown. I talked about Jamal and AG yesterday for Jaylen Brown. There's some trades where you can throw Christian and Cam and all that stuff in there for Jaylen Brown. I don't think that that's happening, but just kind of giving you a ballpark on salary. But those trades actually make a lot more sense to conduct in the new league year than under these current salary conditions. So my short answer for you is no. I don't think anything's going to happen tonight that makes you feel a lot differently about the Nuggets. There are a couple good players that are sitting there at 35 that I think might have a future in the NBA. But chances are, just like at 26, I didn't think any of those players were going to have a positive impact on your roster this year. The last player that I saw that could have was Cameron Carr, who went at 24. The Lakers traded cash to get that pick. The Nuggets could not have traded cash to get that pick because they would have been hard capped at the second apron. So for those people who are upset the Nuggets didn't trade cash, they can't. They literally just cannot do that.
I understand why you would say, hey, I didn't see anyone that could help the Nuggets, and maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. But the Spurs thought otherwise. The Spurs thought otherwise and moved into the first round and picked a player that you could have had. So we're going to be watching Terrence Reed Jr. closely here over the next couple of years. Like, you could have had him. And I also look at the team that they did the trade with, right? You did a trade with the team that you're trying to overthrow
the
here.
youngest team in the NBA, by the way.
And of course, right? And so, like, you're doing a trade with San Antonio, a team that you're in direct competition with. Why? Because that was the best deal that you could get.
Well, and that's how much they think those 2 second-round draft picks are going to be valuable for tonight or next Monday when the league year opens and you can start to do some business.
Yeah, so let's use our imagination. What's the best case scenario you think you're going to do with these second-round draft picks?
Unload Zeke and Cam.
Like Christian. Unload Christian.
Unload Christian.
That's the best case. The best case.
That would be the best case. It's almost, but we know that'll be impossible, right? Like you would need first round picks. That's why it's like if you were going to do that, it would have to have been last night. Like 2 first round picks attached to Christian is not moving the needle to take on that contract, especially in this new era of the NBA. So it's like I'm looking at the situation saying, okay, you traded out of the first round with a Western Conference rival for 2 second-round picks, and then the best case is probably attach those picks to a current player to dump his salary, and you traded a first-rounder for those picks, when in actuality, and I know you guys mentioned this, those were the same picks you moved to save $5 million from Reggie Jackson.
Yeah.
Those were the same picks that you moved up to draft Deron Holmes, who doesn't look like he can play in the NBA right now.
So, Zach, I'm with you, and I want to get upset about all this, but the thing is, I'm happy they didn't.
Get upset.
I'm happy they didn't dig the hole deeper last night by picking a guy that I don't think would have helped them. And I know you
but
say,
with all due respect,
so,
I mean, you're not you're not in the war, and we don't know these guys are going to work out. The last time they picked 26 overall, the guy was on an All NBA rookie team for the first time since 2015, which Jamal Murray did. So we don't know who's going to work out.
And Jokic needs a backup too. You know, he needs. Reed would have done a great job of that.
I know all of this, but I saw how the Giannis thing happened and how he ended up in Miami. And it's because they were left with literally no other options but to trade that guy. Keeping some optionality, I think, is important. And I'm not trying to sound like Josh Kroenke here.
I was just going to say, like, just say flexibility for me. Just say it.
I won't say it. I'm not going to say it.
Come on, Jay. Say it.
But keeping you the optionality that gave the Atlanta Hawks Aaron Wiggins, who's a valuable NBA player, 2 second-round picks.
Yeah.
There are things you can do with 2 second-round picks that aren't necessarily salary dumping, and I hope that's what the Nuggets do. Now, will they do that? Probably not.
Right, I was going to say, because, another example of someone who got traded for 2 second-round picks, okay? 2 second-round picks. He got them. He played the Nuggets in the playoffs, and he came off the bench and scored 40.
Yeah. He also with Rob Dillingham, but yeah.
He got traded for 2 second-round picks. So there exists a scenario where it can happen, but we know, or I think I understand, that the goal is not to go out and acquire new talent that is going to get a $100 million contract like Io just did. It's the opposite. So that's why I'm just so uninspired by this.
My point is I just would rather keep the asset live because I don't think that where I sat looking at that draft is I didn't think that the best use of that asset was on a pick in that spot.
Yeah.
If Cameron Carr was still there, I'm with you guys. Would have been awesome. But I would rather just keep the asset live. They didn't. Where were they moving
Cam
up?
Johnson, AG. You can
there was no players traded last night. No one was accepting salary.
No, but there was activity right in the first 5 picks before the Nuggets traded out.
Sure, but no one was accepting player salary.
No, that's true. That's true.
So we don't know that any of those teams would have actually accepted a $20 million salary.
That's true.
With 26.
When one of those, well, they did a deal with San Antonio, so maybe it's irrelevant, but one of those was Oklahoma City also. Are they going to deal with you division and conference? Who knows?
No, yeah, but right. That's true. But here's what I'll say. It's like, what if no one, like, what if you don't have the assets to attach to these players like you did even a year ago when they moved Michael Porter Jr., right? They had to attach a first-round pick with MPJ to move in exchange for Cam Johnson. And now a year later, maybe the most likely scenario is you're dumping Cam Johnson. But what if these other teams are like, no?
I said this to him last hour. Like, you could be in a situation where they say no, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, we're going to let Peyton Watson walk. And that's your decision.
Right.
Like, you're in a situation where being a $450 million basketball team next year might be the best route forward and running it back with a team that won 2 playoff games.
With you said optionality, with no other option. You need other business partners to do business. And we might be at the point in the NBA where they're like, dude, you can attach a first-round pick to, a Christian Brown. We're still not taking on that salary.
But you don't think that somebody would have taken the first round in Cam Johnson or AG? Like, you guys really don't think that?
Oh, I do. Yeah.
Like they should have tried to win that route.
Last night, I don't think teams were in the business of doing that.
Maybe.
It depends on the range.
We don't know.
Talked about from 16 to 24. No. And then you got to, if you were looking to go 15 and up, you're attaching more than what you just
said. Probably Jamal.
Yeah.
Like to really move
to get
the
in the
needle
top
for
10
someone.
for sure.
Yeah. So I don't know. We're going to talk it out. But I'll say from where I sit now, it feels uninspiring. All right. Last night in the first round, we have another round tonight. What could it signal for later this evening? We'll continue this conversation next.
Does Denver's 2 MVP superstars need to win at least one more championship each in order to cement their legacies as all-time greats in their sport?
But if you are talking about legacies and you're talking about all-time greatness and you're